how's it going? MDB, hey, it's been a hot minute since I've seen you. we playing a bit of Kaiju Noir. The name kind of speaks for itself, honestly. I've had this game for like a few years now, and I figured I haven't gotten around to like fully completing it. I even barely started on it anyways, but it's fine. It's all good. But yeah, let's get this ball rolling. Kaiju. This might be an issue. a little bit of scuff, but you know what? It's fine. We'll manage. Kaiju, a noun from Japanese. 1 strange creature. 2 giant monster. 3 dinosaur. The unknowable creatures that dwell beneath the surface of the world. Feared, hated, misunderstood. New Monstropoulos. Kind of gives me Monster Inc. vibes, so yeah, it's fine. A city of monsters, figuratively and literally. We giant beasts with dark hearts and darker souls trudge the streets of this stone world. Ooh. A decade since the war ended, and we kaiju chose to isolate ourselves in this place, below the surface instead of coexisting with humans. So it's kinda like Undertale. Their human culture pervades, however, seeping through the cracks and into every element of this underground existence. A life of tainted isolation or oblivion. Ooh. Sometimes you have to make the difficult choices. Every night of your life. Kari? Every night another case. Every night another horror story from the city of monsters. Kari, are you awake? That's what you're here for. Making a living on the fringe of society. Closing the book on the stories that always end badly. Detective Karibara, you have a client. Oh, hello there. You startle from your nightly indulgence of self-loathing. The office around you the same as it was 20 minutes ago. Was this the life you expected when you began your career as a private investigator? I mean, who doesn't want to be a private investigator, you know? Besides the people that do, I guess. Does this office make you feel like one of the charismatic PIs from the movies you watch every week? The walls, crumbling stonework, adorned with badly painted posters of those same films. Not squalor, but close. Your assistant, Alex Zoris, is looking at you in the bemused way he does every time he breaks you out of your daydreaming. What does he see when he looks at you? A broken down kaiju who just wants to be left alone, the cynic? One of those silver screen hard-boiled untouchables, an anti-hero? Or someone who just wants to make the city a little better, a hopeful? I am a bit of an optimistic kaiju myself. So you know what, we're just gonna be a hopeful fella. Why not? We need a little bit of hope in this monstrous world. Does it really matter? I feel like it does matter, but sure, why not? Perhaps he always says that the way you see yourself changes your narrative, whatever that means. I mean, he's not wrong. Practically part of the same brood. Crack your eggs together, figuratively, at least. You both went your own ways on that journey, but we're there. Oh, shit. You both went on your own ways on that journey, but through all the weirdness that followed. He always put up that grin on his face when he rouses you, still putting up with your nonsense after all this time. Being the sole private eye in the city of monsters isn't exactly the glamorous life. A couple cramped rooms for an office with the cheapest furniture that could be carved from a block of granite. Alex never complains though. What is it? Alex has worked with you since you started the agency. A few years after the gate closed between the worlds, lured by the prospect of reliable pay and lurid intrigue. In the years that followed, you'd fail to provide either on a regular basis. Part assistant, part taskmaster. He keeps the lights on, the tea strong, and your ego in check. Most of the time. You wish you could pay him more, or on time, but the City of Monsters rarely calls for the services of a private investigator. And there weren't a lot of folks beating down his door to hire a disabled veteran with more brains than a professor sandwich. At least he isn't an idiot sandwich, I guess. Are we open for new cases, or are you going to spend all night napping? What does the sign on the door say? Right now it says, keep your snout out of my business, fucker. But I'm pretty sure I can have that cleaned off by closing. That last case may not have ended happily for everyone, but it was an entertaining one. Maybe you should be the one scrubbing the door then. Sounds like we're open then. Can I get a tea? We're out of tea. And the pretty cash box is empty. We do have a client though. Fuck. You dig around in your pockets until you find some coins and hand them across the scarred desk. That's everything I got. Send in the quiet and fetch something to wake me up. Please. Alex snatches the cash and walks back into the front room of the office. He comes back a moment later with a nervous individual in tow. You wish you could say to Kaiju Alex, wishing ushers into the cramped office fills you with confidence of a lucrative job offer, but they don't. Oh, I just realized this. My whole body is kind of blocking the text here. Let me just shrink myself down a little bit. There we go. Yay. They shuffle into the room, wings held tight against her body, a dozen tons of fur and muscle and strained nerves. They were scared. They kind of look a bit like me. Coincidence? I think not. Couldn't blame them though. Folks usually arrive at your door either terrified or furious, depending on what they need investigated. They glance around the room, possibly looking to escape, or for some telltale indication that they are in the right place. You don't know what a private investigator's office is supposed to look like, but this probably isn't it. Please, take a seat. They look nervously at the stool as if just noticing it, and sits down, wings held tight against her body. Thank you. There's a long pause in which you hear Alex quietly slip out the front door. You know, it often helps start a conversation if we learn each other's name. I'll start. I'm Karibara. They or them if you don't mind. This is my office. It says so on the door, or it usually does. You can call me Detective. I'm Maxora, Detective, Miss. She's well spoken for a kaiju, and wears enough gold to indicate a magpie-like tendency for the nicer things. That's a good start, Miss Maxora. Now, how can I be of assistance? Another long pause as she fidgets with her rings. No doubt you'd like to discuss a matter of some delicacy. Otherwise you wouldn't be in my office. She looks up and sees the fractured ice of her eyes. She looks up and you see the fractured ice of her eyes. Cold, beautiful, and afraid. I need your help, Detective. The words every private investigator loves to hear. The phrase somehow never growing old. Then you came to the right place. I'm here to help Miss Maxora, if I can. How can I be of assistance? I'm not the usual first point of call for kaiju in trouble. There's a police station just down the road. She looks down again, her claws clicking against each other as she rolls her rings nervously. Someone has some information about me that they shouldn't. Things I can't get out to my family. That's why I can't go to the police. Blackmail? She nods. Ooh. And you can't just pay them off. Now I'll ask my family for a lot of money, detective. And they would want to know what it was for. You nod back. Common enough story. One you've heard a dozen times before. No doubt an encounter with the wrong monster she doesn't want getting out. Ooh. I wonder what this could be all about, honestly. And you can tell me what they have on you? Something bad enough to get you in trouble with the family? With the police? She shakes her head vigorously, tears welling up in her eyes. I can't tell you that, detective. I've done things. Things that I'm ashamed of. And the less you know, the less danger you're in. You raise an eyebrow. An unusual addendum. The less I know, the harder it is for me to do my job, Miss McSaw. But I will respect your privacy. No extra charge. You scribble in your second last business card and slide it across the table. This is my retainer. I charge by the day, not the case. First day in advance. There may be expenses, especially since I'm going in without a lot of information. She picks up the card, glances at it, and nods without hesitation. I can't tell you where the message has said to go, and who to talk to. Is that enough to start you off? From the front room you hear Alex return, his cane clicking against the stonework. That's a good start. Can you show me the message? It might give me something more to go on. No. Sorry, I don't have it on with me. Fine. You leave details on my assistant out front as well as the retainer. Anything you can tell me about them? About what they wanted? She stands, shaking her head and reaching for her bag. The blackmail demand only included a name and a place, so that I could find them when I was ready to pay. She leans across the desk, the light glinting on her jewelry and the cold blue of her eyes. I would like this to be handled quietly, detective. It would mean a lot to me, personally, if you could just make this all go away. There's obviously more she's telling you, but you aren't being paid to pry into her reasons. She's a very suspicious person, I won't lie. Not a good first impression, if you ask me. I do my best, Miss Maxilla, but I'm not a bodyguard or a hired thug. If you want someone disappeared, I'd recommend a police station down the road. Their rates are more than reasonable. I'm sure you do just fine, detective. And please, call me Max. You were doomed from the start. You don't say. This bat is gonna get us in a heap of trouble, I'm calling it now. Kaiju Noir, Chapter 1. Alex walks back into the room a few minutes later, mug in one hand and slip of paper tucked behind an ear frill. Well, she was quite the character. Did she pay? He puts the cup neatly on the desk. The liquid inside is black as a lagoon at midnight and smells like molasses. And cash. Nice, crisp new bill is all tucked up neatly in the cash box. By the bulge in her purse, there's plenty more in there. Can I get a new chair and claim it as a business expense? Mine is falling apart. Yeah, I can believe that, buddy. Tempting. I wouldn't mind a new hat. Somehow keep shredding them. You have horns, Kai. You aren't supposed to be wearing hats. Yeah, I was gonna say, you have horns there, buddy. I know, but when was the last time you saw a detective movie without the PI wearing a hat? Good point. But I get my chair first. Deal. If we can get a few days out of this case, I'll not only get you a new chair, would pay you for the last 2 weeks. Alex shrugs and pulls the paper from his fin, placing it on the desktop. Do what you can, Kari. We're in this together. You deserve to get paid. I get my pension. Not entirely helpless without you. I've seen how much they care about vets. Wouldn't trust a hatchling to survive on that pension. And yet I scrape by just fine. Anyways, here's the details on the messengers and hangout. Farmer is unknown to me though. The police might have something. The latter is a dive off of the main strip. Been there a few times. How were the drinks? Cheap and not entirely lethal. Well, that's always good to hear, ain't it? You pick up the slip of paper and scan Alex's meticulous lettering. Larenthrak, the last scope, Crag Lane. She really is playing this one close to the scales. I couldn't get anything out of her, not even a description. What the hell have you gotten us into? I'm asking myself the same thing. A case, which is more than we had this morning, or yesterday, or last week. Alex leans against the doorway and taps his cane uncertainly. Just don't go wasting all the money on the movies and hats. You try not to laugh as you drink your tea. So what's the plan? Go scope out the place, check with the cops. I know Carla Zora down at the station owes us a favor after last time. We should probably check in with Carla Zora. I think that would be good. Why not? Yeah, let's go do that. I guess I should go check in with Carla Zora. If this Larenthrak character has any history, I'd rather know it before I confront them. Yeah, that's a good point. See if you can find out where they get their donuts from. The local place is terrible. The only good thing about that station is the donuts and Carla. And I'm pretty on the fence about her sometimes too. All cops are bastards, Kari. Carla Zora chooses her path. She takes the title. Maybe one day she'll learn better. We can but hope. Now I want a donut. Honestly, same. A donut sounds pretty good right now. When you reach police station, Carla Zora isn't in her office. The officer in the front desk tells you she is off working a case. Maybe you'll catch her later. Oh, shucks. Oh well. No matter how many times you go to the station, you can't shake the urge to start throwing things. The look the desk sergeant gives you just makes that worse. Oh, wonderful. Carla Zora better wake up and see how bad this place is for her before it's too late. Unable to find any neglected donut boxes, you decide to leave a message saying you called, that Carla still owes you that drink, and head off to the last scope. Crag Lane feels old. Even in the city of monsters, a near-forgotten side street worn low from thousands of years of heavy footsteps. The last scope is what you'd expect for an ancient dive bar in this part of town. Rough stone brick, uneven windows, piles of rubble along the walls, the smell of industrial waste and kaiju vomit. Ugh. You'll have to see that. You don't like going into bars in the first place. Too many kaiju vying for space. Too much noise. Too few answers. The smell of the place alone is almost enough to turn you away. As you approach the doorway, a bulging shape in the corner stands and extends an antlered head. Oh, hello. Evening. You touch your forehorns in acknowledgement. Oh, that's cute. They grunt back a sound more heavy machinery than communication. Busy night? They shrug their shoulders and push open the door with their tail, even behind a black trail of ink. What the fuck? Not much of a talker, are you? Their eyes narrow and gesture to the door with their antlers. You get the point and ease past into the bar. The interior of the bar is as crude as the exterior, showing its age as one of the city's oldest drink pits. Not despised, just mostly forgotten to the ages. I better turn this out a little bit, maybe. I don't know. Maybe this worked. Yeah. The soundtrack's a bop, though, I won't lie. The bar and tables are all stone slabs, probably hewn from the same quarry as the bricks that make up the rest of the building. It's easy to believe that the bar wasn't built, but dug out from the surrounding stone. The bartender watches you enter with one head, and the television mounted above with the other. Oh, they got two heads. Though I would be eating my shoe if they had three. A small crowd of kaiju sit around various tables on one side doesn't fit anyone's stools. A couple of them look up from their drinks and most just keep drinking like this. Might be their last gulp after all. Trying to look like another worn out monster after a hard night, you make your way into the bar. What'll it be, Slick? Ooh, they look gnarly. Look around at the limited drink selection. Alex was right. Everything that doesn't look like it was brewed in a refinery is cheap rot gut you could use to remove rust. Makes you glad you don't drink booze. Best to stick with a soda. Ooh, both of these sound intriguing, I won't lie. How about we go with the Monster Mash? You can't go wrong with a Monster Mash. Oh my god, oh, that's cheesy, I love it. The purple can the bartender slides across to you is festooned with pictures of various movie monsters. Let's see, we got the Gill Man, the Wolf Man, and I don't know, a big shark-looking thing. It looks cute though. You can't help yourself but sing a part of the advertising jingle under your breath. They drink the mash. They drink the Monster Mash. Oh, of course they have to do that. Of course. It even smells purple. How does it smell purple? You slide a couple of coins across the bar and sit on a stool. The bartender pushes back less change than you'd expect, but you don't comment. You a cop? You're broken from your quiet observations of the bar area, trying to figure out who could be the blackmailer just by appearance. In the movies, they would be hunched in the corner, hat over the eyes, looking shifty. But you're the only one wearing a hat, and everyone here is hunched. What? Most folks come here to drink and don't give a damn about anyone else. You're scooping out the place. If you're a cop, tell me now, so I know who to call if you end up in the alley out back. But if you're thinking of robbing the place, I'll just tear you apart here and now. No hard feelings. That happen often. The bartender shrugs, their one head still not moving from the screen. Not that you'd hear. Kaiju here mostly keep them themselves. So? Cop or not? Definitely not. You place your private investigator badge on the bar so only the bartender can see it. I like to think of myself as a helping claw when needed. The bartender looks affronted, both heads swiveling around to look you up and down with matching scowls. An iron claw? Then you really won't be popular around here. Folks don't like nosy flat pads sticking their muzzle where it doesn't belong. You don't have to worry about me. I'm only here to find someone. I'm not about to cuff or stop any of your regulars. Just don't cause trouble around in here, got it? Stania out in the front does a good job at dealing with trouble. But I hate having to replace the furniture and clean the mess off the walls when they're done, so watch yourself. No trouble here, just doing my job as quietly as I can. No stomping intended. The bartender nods and turns back to their show. What you watching? Do know. It's either one of those old human monster movies or a war documentary. Acting is terrible either way. Who's winning? The head, not watching the monitor, spits into the sink. Us. So it's probably just a movie. Oh. I guess the humans won in this war. Their tone tells you everything you need to know. After working with Alex for years, it's becoming easy to spot those who came back from the war. You were there? They nod ahead. Right near the end. Lied about my brood here. Went out, barely came back. Did what I had to do to get a job here. Been working here ever since. Not the worst place to end up. They don't reply. You slowly work through your drink, getting a feel for the place. It's not as bad as you thought once you block out the smell. The name's Rax, by the way. So who are you looking for? The bartender is still watching the movie, which is now showing a giant kaiju wrecking a power plant that crumbles like cheap wood, which it probably is. Someone named Loadrak. Know him? Again, the non-committal shrug. Maybe. Most folks don't deal with names here. Not real ones, at least. You sigh and start reaching for your wallet, knowing where this is going. Anything I can do to help you remember? Depends. You any good? At what? Answering vague questions. I'm fucking great at it. Try me. Ask another. One head laughs and the other growls. Wise arse. I keep that muzzle around here. I'd watch that muzzle around here if you'd like your teeth. I mean, you ain't good as a detective, and you know it. You give a variation of their non-committal shrug. I've ended a few marriages and found my share of lost pets. Need something looked into? They pierce the top of another can with a pincher and hand it to you. I got something for you. Not now, though. You got a card or something? You hand over your last business card. They glance at it skeptically. Oh, you're the one Alex works for. You know Alex? Long story. Don't ask. He comes in sometimes for a drink. They pocket the card in their apron and nod to a table off to the back of the bar. Always over there. You can't miss him. The indicated table holds a single occupant, squat, spiky, and drinking like they were prepared to go on drinking forever. One of my best and worst customers. Drinks all night, never tips, never says thanks. Some fucking gratitude wouldn't go amiss. Right? Ever spit in his drink? Both mouths grin widely. Oh. I mean, yeah. I guess that's what you get there, you know? Every fucking night. Tried to stiff me on the tab one night. Don't try to screw with a two-head. We don't forget and can spit twice as hard. Oh, Jesus. You pick up your drink and stand up from the bar. Remind me never to piss you off. Anyway, look me up when you got time. I'll help you out if I can. They nod, go back to watching the end of the movie, and you head towards the occupied table in the back. As you approach the back table, you catch the stink coming from Lorenthrak. Dank, musty, alcohol-ridden. The stench of a loner you're all too familiar with. The table before them is littered with empty cups, the bartender obviously not wanting to get any closer than they have to. Lorenthrak? They look up, peering at you over the top of their drink, eyes trying to focus in on the poor light. Oh. I really dig this design. What's it to ya? Whatever you're selling, I don't want any. Just someone looking to have a chat. You look like you could use some company. Laura looks you up and down with a sneer before glancing back down at her drink. I don't want nothing except to be left alone. You pull out the stool opposite and sit down. Well, that's too bad, Laura, because I'd like to talk. Of course you fucking do. You a cop? Can't a kaiju just sit down and share a drink with a stranger? No, I'm not a cop. Just someone in need of a few answers. Laura snarls, finishes their drink, slams the cup back on the table, and waves to the bartender. What kind of questions? The kind that have to do with Mixora. Who? Never heard of him. Never? You got smoke in your ears? I don't know him. Funny. She knows you. Says you're saying she owes you some money. The bartender arrives, putting down a fresh cup of something that smells exceedingly flammable. You lean back a little. Laura picks up the cup, downs half of it in one swing, puts it back down. You wonder if it had a little something extra in it. On the shorter side, curvy, wings, little horns on top. That's her. Calls herself Mixora now, does she? What else did she tell you? She said you were blackmailing her. Said she wants you to leave her alone. Did she show you a blackmail notice? Or have any proof that I was doing it? Or what I was supposed to be blackmailing her about? No, she didn't. You took the case anyways because she looked scared and had the money. Laura grins a filthy, broken-toothed grin. Oh, got a predator mouth right there. Thought so. She wanted you to come down here, make some trouble for me so I leave her alone, right? Or maybe she wanted you to sort me out a good and proper in the alleyway all quiet like. Something like that. They nod and swag back the rest of their drink. Thought so. You hear as her hired muscle? No. Private detective. Even worse, Dan. Hey, Dabbles, how are you doing? And enjoy your lurk. Even worse then. Listen. Flat pad and listen good. That dame ain't getting blackmailed. Whatever she's mixed up in, I ain't the one causing that grief. Why is she sent me after you then? Now you're asking the right questions. When I was walking with her, she was going by Cesar's. Laura taps the empty cup with a claw. You get the hint and signal the bartender. Doesn't that seem like something you should be asking her about? She's your client after all. Go home, detective. Or go talk to Cesar's, Baxora, whatever she's calling herself now. Just leave me to my drinking. He looks down at the stained tabletop, its surface puddled with rainbow slick residue. Ugh. You sure do, Dabbles. Figured I'd give you a little something special. And a word of advice, detective. Watch yourself around her. She may look sweet, but those claws are sharp. Getting up from the table, you nod the racks and make your way out into the Evernight. Stand near her, eyes you uncaringly as you emerge from the bar. You tip your hat as much as the horns allow and move into the street. So, Detective Karibara, your first night on the case, and you found out what? You know, I can't trust either of them. I mean, Mixora kind of just told us no information at all. Like, barely just saying, oh, I've been blackmailed. And they owe me a lot, and I owe them a lot of money. But I want them to leave me alone. And Lauren Throck's just like, yeah, but the Bat Lady, she's just like, she goes by some other name, and she's like in some stuff, and I am the one that's blackmailing her. Very suspicious. You know that? Yeah, I can't trust either of them. Hey, Fap. Axora has told you little to nothing about this case, despite eagerly retaining your services. Or Dract hasn't told you anything except that Mixora is hiding something. Always like not wanting to give anything away. Yeah, these two are very suspicious. All you know is that there's something more going on than a simple blackmail, and you're still on the case. Good thing you're being paid by today. I know, right? You can feel your bed calling to you. Best to call it a night. Kaiju Noir Chapter 2. I'm really enjoying this so far. Very intriguing. You arrive at the hotel Maxora listed as her place of residence, after filling Alex in on the previous night's encounters. So what's the plan? Just go in there and demand the truth from Miss Maxora through cop style? I couldn't tough cop if someone was paying me to. I failed drama class. Oh man, I figured he would be the type, but no, I guess not. The building is old, but well maintained. Rough, clean stone brick and an air of faded majesty in a near empty area of the day. At the front desk, you ask to ring up to Miss Maxora's room and let her know you've arrived. Time passes. Tucked into the corner of the room is a drink vending machine. You drop a coin into the slot and twist a knob. The machine grinds for a moment, then drops your coin into the return slot. It's out of Monster Mash. Oh no, it's out of Monster Mash. Oh, the horror. It's always empty. I don't think it's ever been refilled. I've never been so disappointed. Me too, buddy. Me too. Never? Okay, once, but it turned out my toy rocket ship was behind the sofa the whole time. That says a lot about you, Detective. Maxora is standing more confidently than you've seen in the office. Gone is the almost theatrical fragility of the night before. There's not much of me to know. A pleasure to meet you again, Miss Maxora. Please, Detective, you can call me Max. No need for formalities here. As you wish, Max. You're paying, after all. On that note, there's some things I'd like to discuss with you in private. Is there somewhere we can talk? She motions to a couple of ancient lounge chairs in the corner. I'm one of the only residents staying in the hotel. I'm one of the only residents staying in the hotel, and the clerk at the front desk is hard of hearing, so we should be able to talk here. As you wish. The pair of you take your seats. The surface world design of them, meaning you have to find comfortable place for your toe. Yeah, ain't that a struggle. Been staying here long enough. It's a decent place. Quiet, clean, quiet, out of the way. Sometimes you don't need anything fancy. I'm just surprised you aren't staying with your family. Do they live in the city? Are you investigating me now, Detective? Let's just call it professional curiosity. Us PIs get used to asking a lot of questions. My family is always busy, as such things can get a little hectic from time to time. So I come here once in a while for some peace and quiet. Any other questions you'd like to ask, Detective? Or shall we get back to business? Should I be subtle or just cut to the chase? I should probably cut to the chase, so, we get all the answers right away, but I don't know. She's kinda suspicious. Maybe being subtle isn't exactly the best course of action, but maybe just confronting her straight as is also not the best option. But you know what, I guess there's only one way to really find out here. Confront her with what you know. I think it's best we get back to business. So tell me, Miss Cesarius, what do you really know of Lauren Throck? Maxora's reaction tells you everything you need to know. She's not as good as hiding her emotions as she thinks she is. Oh. That is your name, isn't it? Or did you give both Laura and I false names? How many identities are you running right now? Silence, except for the slow activity of the clerk and the shuffling of Maxora's wings on the chair. I'd rather you call me Max, Detective. There are a lot of things I did as Cesarius that I'm not proud of. At least, if you know that name, I know you actually talked to Laura. We talked. You told me you couldn't be trusted. I'm starting to understand why. Same here, buddy. He told me he wasn't blackmailing you, that you've been stringing me along, and he was right, wasn't he? He's right. Then why did you say anything to begin with, you dingus? So, where do we go from here, Detective? Now you start telling me the truth, Max. It's come to the truth already, has it, Detective? It would be a nice change of pace. I really wish that damn vending machine was working. I need a drink. We could go somewhere. She shakes her head. Not in this part of the city. All too public. Could you grab me some water, though? There should be a jug on the counter. You stand, walk to the front desk, fill a couple cups of the pitcher, nod to the clerk, and return to Maxora, putting them on the table between you. Thank you, Detective. Now, don't doubt Lore told you more than just that name, correct? You nod again. He told you we've had some history between us. That you work together, yes. What else did he tell you? What should he have told me, Max? Well, it's true that we work together. Laura and I were entrusted with the task of collecting a certain item, an artifact of considerable value that carried with it considerable risk. Ooh. And what item is that? Maxora picks up a glass and sips from it. Tell me, Detective, have you heard of the Crimson Old One? The what? Ooh. The Crimson Old One. An idol carved from a single giant ruby dug from the cavern that summons New Montropolis by the first kaiju. Oh, wait, shit. The Crimson Old One. An idol carved from a giant ruby dug from the cavern that surrounds New Montropolis by the first kaiju. Ooh. It is said that the light that refracted from the ruby was enough to illuminate the world below, and that the first kaiju war was waged over who could claim it millennia before the humans climbed down from their trees. It is also said that those who would possess the Crimson Old One would reign over our kind until the end of days. Oh, that's something. But we live in a blatantly corrupt oligarchy. I can't talk today. I can't see the big tusk up at the city hall giving up their seats to someone lugging a shiny rock around this city. You're right. Trying that would probably land you at the bottom of the lake wearing a stone overcoat. So why all the excitement over a shiny pebble? Firstly, the idol represents immense spiritual significance for many kaiju in this city. Second, it has historic value dating back hundreds of millennia. And finally, it's a giant ruby. Do you have any idea what that's worth to the right collector? She's got a point there. And what do you have to do with the rock? Well, I was supposed to be getting the idol into the city and so on. Into the city? You mean it's been out there on the surface? Artistic as you look, Detective. You should see me solve a crossword puzzle. Oh lord. This dude, I swear. The statue has been traded, stolen, sold, and killed for in the human world for thousands of years. I doubt even they know how long for or where it originated. So, how did you track it down? Now that's something I don't know. The plan was Lore would track it down. I'd organize it to get it past the gates. Another colleague would make the sale to a collector, and we'd split the loot. So, what happened? I don't know. The idol was supposed to pass to me from my contact at the gate. Only when I got there, I heard that he had an accident and the idol was missing. Ooh. Some sort of sabotage, I assume. I'm calling it now. It's gonna be some kind of sabotage. One of those accidents where folks just end up and die. Exactly that kind. You pick up your cup and take a drink. So why do you up and run? I've been paid an awful lot of money to get that idol into the city, most of which had gone towards bribes, storage, and my contacts in the human world, none of whom was prepared to work with a kaiju for cheap. If Lord thought I'd betrayed them, they would be after me. I had to make the first move. So, what do you plan to do now? Just wait here until it all blows over? No, Detective. I plan to find out where that damn statue is and finish this deal so I can get on with my life. So there's no blackmail case? No, never was. Then why'd you say it was a blackmail case to begin with? Fine, then my work is done on that matter. I'll let my assistant know and he can give you a letter of completion and an invoice for services rendered. I'm sorry we couldn't make this work, and I'm sorry about the lies. Is that everything, Detective? Not quite, Max. Now you and I need to discuss another matter. What other matter? You just closed the case. You take another sip and say the words that will land you in more trouble than you could imagine. The matter of you hiring me to find that statue. She looks up, startled. You'd work for me considering everything? I see it like this, Miss Mixora. Either you're lying to me again, in which case you'll end up paying me up until the point we both become too bored to carry on with the charade. Or you're telling the truth about being on the hunt for a missing cultural treasure of an immeasurable value that can make everyone involved filthy rich. In which case, I want in. Oh, Kari, you dingus. Also, I haven't had an interesting case in months, and this sounds like it could be fun. Yeah. That checks out. Maxora sits with cup and claw, no doubt thinking about ways to take control of the situation. Okay, Detective. What are your terms? 2 weeks retainer in advance. This is going to eat up all my time, and I have an assistant to keep fed. Consider it insurance in case of any more unforeseen accidents. Oh? Don't you trust me, Detective? Don't you like me? I like you plenty, Max. But I don't trust you any more than I do most folks in the city. Maybe even less, given the circumstances. That's fair enough. You've earned the right to be mistrustful of me. And if, I say if, the idol story is true, then I want 10% of the sale price. I don't care how you get it, whether it's from your share or split with the others. Call it a finder's fee. She looks directly into your eyes for a moment, sizing you up for haggling, but you don't waver. We have a deal. We have a deal, Detective. I don't have the money on me right now for your retainer, but I'll have it sent to your office. As you finish your water, the edges of the room starts to spin. Oh, okay. You got spiked, buddy. Your heart starts racing, and Max slips in and out of focus. Fuck, she drugged a drink. Oh god. In all honesty, I'm sorry about this, Kari. I didn't know if I could trust you. Not with my life on the line. Find the statue and you'll get everything that's coming to you. Start with Lore, Detective. I'll be in touch. She leans in close and you feel her icy breath on your ear. Follow the trail of the Crimson One. A gaping maw of oblivion swallows you whole. Well, that took a turn. Waking with the start, you see the weary smile of a hotel clerk as they were gently shaking you. Aw, it's so cute. Miss Maxora said you needed some rest, and not to wake you until she left. She didn't say you were such a heavy sleeper. You rub the weariness out of your eyes and look around. The clock on the corner showing 3 hours passed since you arrived. Where's Miss Maxora now? She checked out about an hour ago. Didn't leave a forwarding address. Never says for long. Oh, didn't leave a forwarding address. Never says for long, but I'm always happy to see her. They smile and help you stand. She left a card for you. Just a moment. They shuffle over to the desk and return, handing over a rectangle of white card and a crudely drawn picture of a squat screecher in red ink. Always drawing that little fellow. I find a couple of these little cards in her room whenever I clean up. A mascot or cartoon character, maybe? Something like that. Turn the card over to see the words "Find it, then find me, Max," written on the back. What else do you know about Miss Mixora? They give a happy shrug and shamble behind their polished stone slab of a reception desk. Not a lot. At this hotel, we respect our residents' privacy and make it a point not to ask personal questions. But she's clean, keeps to herself, and tips well. All I could ask for in a resident. You flick the quirk a coin. You run a nice hotel. If Miss Maxora returns, please tell her I'll be in touch. They nod appreciatively, and you walk out into the city. Back in your office, Alex is standing behind his desk, looking fugitive. Furtive? Yeah, furtive. You look upset. What happened? If we suddenly received a rather large sum of money through the mail slot, what would you say? I'd ask where we got a mail slot. Kari, did such a thing happen? I'm not saying anything without a lawyer. You don't want a lawyer this time of night. They give you indigestion. Was this hypothetical sum of money enough to cover 2 weeks of work? He narrows his eyes. 2.5. I gather from your expression it was from Miss Mixora. What do you want me to do with it? You laugh and lean against the door frame. Go get yourself that new chair, Alex. Our Miss Mixora turned out to be a bigger client than we expected. Feel the tea, kitty, too. Oh, if there's anything left, take care of what I owe you in the back pay. Are you sure? You didn't do anything illegal, did you? Like, foolish illegal? Not yet, but I may have to. And I want to make sure you and I are square. Whatever you say, Kari. I appreciate it. What did happen at the hotel? You were gone for hours. You tell Alex the full story, or the Crimson Old One, the tranquilizer in your drink. He nods along quietly without interrupting. That's a pretty fucked up situation. Not sure if I feel comfortable taking a case from someone who'd do that. Are you going to be okay? I'll be fine, just a little groggy. She'll be paying double for that little stunt, though. Do you think she's telling the truth? She did drug you after all. Yeah, that's a good point. If she isn't, she's willing to pay a lot to keep me around for the back of a lie. And if she's being honest, highly doubtful. But in some mystery novel world where she's telling the truth, we get to track down an artifact of wealth beyond imagining and make a bucket of cash in the process. If you don't get killed while you're out there, what makes you think I'll get knocked off? You remember what happens to anyone who gets their paws on the treasure in those movies you're so fond of? Bang! One in the back in a dark alleyway somewhere. It's a damn massive ruby, Kari. Do you really think there aren't those out there already dying for it? Oh right, accidents. Got any advice for me to avoid ending up like that? Aside from don't get killed, keep your eyes open and your snout out of the wrong places. Keen insight as ever. Well, I'm gonna have a nap in my office. Still feeling a bit woozy. You look at. That must have been one hell of a drink. Then what? Then I go have a chat to Lorenthrock again. He might have a thread I can pull. How hard do you intend to pull? Hard enough that he answers my damned questions. Wake me in an hour. When you get back to the last scope, Rax is the only one there, sitting at a bar, a can in each hand, watching the Kaiju Wrestling League on the television. You take a seat beside him and grab a handful of bar snacks. One head looks up at you briefly and returns to the screen. You know what I love about Kaiju Week? No drama like in the human fights. Turning to watch the screen, you see two powerfully built monsters tearing at each other with claw, tooth, and tail. To be fair to the humans, they don't heal like most of us, too squishy and soft. They have to make more of a show out of it. Rax laughs into one of his beers. True enough. They don't taste too bad either. Wouldn't know. Never been outside the city. I like it down here. What are they like, the humans? Crunchy. He looks down in quiet thought for a moment. As bad as us, really. There's more of them and they don't know where to quit. If you really want to meet one, go head down to the political district. I hear there's a few in the embassy. No thanks. I'd be too worried to step on them. I'll stick to seeing them in the films. He laughs and drinks out of both cans at once. They squish pretty good too. They never show that in the movies. Heck of a mess to clean off later though. On the screen, one of the wrestlers roars in victory, while what's left of their opponent is dragged in from the pit. That was brutal. Tame as far as stuff goes. No one dies in the KWL. Union rules. Maimed is fine, but you come out bleeding. Broodmom told me in the old days if you went into the pit, you came out a winner. On bits. She was one of the winners. Good old unions. Can't imagine how screwed this city would be without them. Even with the crush, and I'd rather them running things. You want a drink? Got some time before we open up. Give me a monster mash. It's always the monster mash with him. I swear. Don't want anything stronger? No thanks. I don't drink booze. Makes me feel like shit. Also, I don't think you got much behind that bar that's less than 160 proof. Any of that gets near me and I'm likely to burn the place down. Fair enough. Folks here like to get drunk in a hurry. Them that can metabolize alcohol anyway. Can't blame them. He reaches over the bar, grabs you a can, and goes back to watching the show. Looks like a highlight reel. You back her another round in the ring with Laura? Yeah. Got some follow-up questions for him. Maybe a swear word or two. He'll be here soon. He may be a mound of kaiju crap, but he's punctual with his drinking. You drink and watch the game. You never could get into the weak fights. The city is violent enough without making a sport on it. How about history of the Gulp? Why not? Curious about this bar. When did you start working at the Gulp? Seems you've got a pretty good thing going. I took over the Gulp after the war. Was probably too young for out there and in here. But I was big. No one asks questions when you're big. There were a lot of empty buildings, especially in areas like this. Too many folks didn't return. So I cashed out on my contract and picked this place up for near nothing. It was an utter hole when I took over. Taught myself how to serve drinks, deal with the mafia, and kick out the troublemakers real fast. Was it worth it? Fuck yeah, it was. And now I pay Stan Ria to take out the trouble and keep the mob away. So I can just focus on the drinks. I'm good at drinks. There are far worse places I could have ended up. I like to give these kaiju a little comfort. It's safe in here. Safer than out there anyway. It seems like a good place. He actually laughs, a short, rock crusher chuckle. It's a hole in the ground, but it's mine, and I look after what's mine. Rex sets both empty cans down and turns ahead to you. Did you mean it when you said you were a good detective? I'm the best in the city. Also the only one in the city that's not a cop. You'll do. You said you're on a case. Would you have a problem with taking on a second? As long as they don't conflict with would have got some flexibility? What's the case? I need you to find my sister. Oh. Great. Doesn't seem like a difficult job. Just stick up a few missing kaiju flyers. Why ask me? Because it's not that simple, detective. Alex says you're good at the delicate stuff, if you catch my drift. And I trust him. I also don't trust the cops for obvious reasons. When I lost contact with her, we were both very different kaiju. We all change, Rex. Detective? Call me Kari. Kari, sorry. I'm not used to talking about this stuff. And this doesn't leave this room. He takes a deep breath, something two heads are able to do particularly well. I mean, yeah. When I shipped out, she was just starting her transition. Hadn't even chose her name yet. Oh, trans kaiju. We love to see it. Oh fuck. Yeah. Oh fuck. I left and didn't get to tell her I loved her before they heard us out the gate stuff. Hey, thanks for following. Taking two more cans from behind the bar, he opens them in the teeth of one jaw. Damn rough. So I don't have a name. Not one she'd go by now. I don't know what she looks like, and I don't know where to start. You both drink in silence for a few minutes. I'll take the case. This one hits a bit close to home, so I'll do it no charge. I ain't gonna ask you to do this for nothing. Don't sweat it. My other case is paying more than enough to cover my time. If you want to pay, then set me up with a tab at the bar. If I find her, scrub the tab. If I don't, I'll settle it next week. He scowls at the compromise. Typical kaiju stubbornness. You think you can find her that fast? I've been looking for years. You'd be amazed at what I can do when I start poking around. So what do you have that I can work with? I can't exactly just go around the city sticking up wanted signs for a trans kaiju that were separated from their family during the war. I need Alex at the door to just hold back the queen. Okay, fine. I can't talk today. I need Alex at the door just to hold back the queue. Damn humans. We didn't have to think about gender bullshit till they came around. We were just monsters. Tell me about it. Of all the social construct crap we had to pick up from them, that just has to be the weirdest. Capitalism was a pretty bad idea too. All my homies hate capitalism, even kaiju. Anyway, I don't have much to go on. If I did, I'd have found her by now. But if you find her, please give her this. He hands over a carved green stone of a strand of scale hide. She'll know what it means. Not much to go on, no name, no description, just a necklace? Now you know how I feel. More than you know, Rex. The television program finishes, and you're glad you can't hear the obnoxious advertisement over the bar's music. It's about time folks start lumbering in. I should get to work. He downs both cans, throws them into the bin along with your empty drink, and stops around behind the bar. What about your family? We don't have much. Not what you'd call real family. You know how it goes. All too well. I know that feeling all too well, buddy. I'll have a talk with Alex and see what we can think up. He's the smart one. What do you do then? I ask irritating questions and look good in a hat. Rex nods and starts serving the slow trickle of customers coming up for drinks. About 20 minutes later, War stomps through the door and towards his regular table. There's your boy. Please refrain from hitting him with a chair without letting me know first. so I can get a good view. Thanks. Can you give me as usual? Rax pours a cup of something smelling like industrial solvent, one head looking ready to spit, thinking better of it, and hands it over. Good luck, Swick. You walk across the Lord's table and places the cup in front of him. God, I've been talking for an hour now? Jesus. let me just hydrate for a moment, since I don't have redeems for that yet, because I'm not an affiliate. Good old water. Can't get enough of it. You walk across the Lord's table and place the cup in front of him. Or, what a surprise seeing you here. Thought you'd be thirsty, so I bought you a drink. What do you want, Fat Paw? Can't you leave me in peace? What, and miss this charming conversation? Never. I just felt like buying a drink for my friend Lore, and here you are. Bullshit, you're a bad actor. If you think I'm gonna toss you a coin of worm, you're delusional. Good thing you're not paying then, isn't it? Now drink your damn sludge. What are you being paid for then? I already told you I ain't blackmailing anyone. No one you know anyway. Go talk to the dame and leave me the hell alone. Oh, I did talk to her. Had a good long talk before she slipped me some knockout drops. She told me about how you two work together and how you're looking for a certain object. And you trust a dame who drug her drink? Not a bright one, are you? Or sniffs at the putrid liquid in her cup, downs most of it in one gulp, and coughs wretchedly. You should drink slower. That crap can't be good for you. Shut up, Flatpaw. Did she tell you where it is? Can I unshut it long enough to tell you? She doesn't have it. Says her courier died before they could make the handover. She's hired me to find it. Hired you with our money? A polite monster never asked. I bet. Well, if she's got her claws and cash on you, she must still want to talk. God damn it. Well, if she's got her claws and cash on you, she must still want to find the idol. Maybe the dame didn't cheat us after all. Can't tell you that for sure, Lore. Contrary to what you think, I tend to not trust kaiju who drug me. That's a good instinct. What's the plan, Flatpaw? How do you plan to find our property? The same way I'm doing such a good job annoying you, by asking a lot of questions. You're good at that, at least. Thank you. I make sure to practice in the mirror every morning. This guy's a goober, I swear. Sometimes I ask myself questions so abrasive I even shock myself. I would believe that. You seem like the sort of kaiju that could piss off a stone wall. So tell me, Lore, how many kaiju know about the idol, aside from you, Maxura, and I? Why do you want to know? Well, I want to get paid, or you've been screwed. Honestly, he's been kind of screwed over, I won't lie. Because one of them screwed you. It's pretty obvious, or we wouldn't be sitting here right now. I can't imagine your endeavor had a large team, so I want to know who else is involved. How'd you figure that? Max is scared, because you're all still around. Because if Maxora had bugged out with the idol, she wouldn't be in hiding. She's terrified. Genuinely scared, as far as I can read those eyes. And you sitting in here getting wasted on whatever the hell that is every night isn't helping. He looks into the drink out of his cup and throws it around. You got me there. There's someone else involved. Our backer. I figured you weren't the brains behind all of this. Who are they? Can't tell ya. They like their privacy. Can't exactly blame them considering the trouble that Rock has caused. A rock worth several fortunes. You got a bot. We got a server. Wonderful. Rock worth several fortunes. Fortunes aren't worth shit when you're dead. Ain't a lot of us get to come back after we take the fall. Still, someone has to know about the deal. Max is too personally invested to let something like this go tail up. You put too much faith in that dame. In this city, you gotta put up your faith in something. I put mine in money, which she's paying me a reasonable amount of. And if I could get you more than she's paid, a lot more, what would I do with it? I already have a nice coat. If I help find the rock, I'll have enough to never have to worry about rent ever again. If I don't find it, I at least have enough to get myself a new hat. These things aren't cheap. Besides, I have a rule. No conflicting cases. My assistant would never let me hear the end of it. He traces some of the spilled liquid over the tabletop with a claw. Its surface rainbow-hued in the low light. Then what's your plan? Start turning over rocks until you find a red one? Better than that, you get me a meeting with whoever is backing the scavenger hunt. I mean, yeah, that's always an option. There's too many questions and I need a few of them answered. I'll try. I can't promise they'll talk to you. Tell them if they want their shiny pebble, they'll talk to me. The longer they wait, the harder it'll be to get the thing back. You wrote down your office address on a stained napkin. When you arrange a time, here's my address. Business hours only, please. Lore skewers the napkin onto a leg spine and finishes his drink. Thanks for the drink, detective. Thanks for the chat, Lore. You've been charming as always. I'll see you when I see you. On the way out, you tip your hat to Rex and head back to the office. Hopefully Alex hasn't headed home yet. You've a lot to catch him up on. The plot is getting thicker, for lack of a better word. Very intrigued to see how things go. So now we have two cases. What the hell were you thinking? Find a lump of rock that might not even exist and track down someone who without even a name or appearance to go off of. This is why I don't let you go out to bars anymore. You've always come back with the worst cases. Kind of impressive since I don't even drink, right? Don't blame me. For some reason, Kaiju keep telling me their problems, expecting me to solve them. You'd think I was a private detective or something. Yeah, who knew? What happened this week, Kari? Everything was so quiet. How do we end up in a mystery novel? Karmic buildup? Maybe the universe just decided to start throwing rocks? At least one of the rocks is worth a great big pile of cash. Speaking of cash, why didn't you ask for payment on Rax's case? He's good for it. You look at Alex over your tea. You and I have been in similar situations. I remember how shit things got when you came out. And I didn't fare much either, and I fare much better. I couldn't stick a price tag on this kid getting a little happiness back after all he's been through. He looks up on his mug. He looks down into his mug. It bubbles back at him. Fair. It's not like we need the money right now. Right. We can afford to do a little pro bono for a barkeep in need. The pair of you drink in silence for a while. So what the heck do we do? You haven't gotten any leads on either case. Pulling the pendant from your coat, you hand it over. Alex pulls down his mug and examines it closely. This is the only lead Rax has? You nod. No clue what it can mean. Probably some family thing. Alex holds the stone closer to each eye in turn. I've seen this somewhere. This pattern here. He holds out the stone and indicates to a pattern of swirls that, on close examination, looks like eyes curled in on themselves. Seriously? Can you remember where? Pausing, looking at it again, he shakes his head. No, it was brief. Only for a moment. Try to remember. I don't care if it was graffiti on the side of a building or something you saw in a movie. Anything will help right now. And the other case? We wait for a message from Lore. If I can't meet the bankroller, we don't know all the actors in this little play. I don't like being left out cold in the middle of a case, even if I'm bundled in cash. And what if he doesn't call? Then we go door to door asking if anyone has a giant ruby in their basement. If you had a giant ruby in your basement, would you own up if someone came looking? I didn't say it was a good plan, but it's better than sitting on my tail waiting for the idol to knock on the front door. The front door shakes under a tremendous knocking. Oh, okay. Quick, say something about us getting $1 million. It's not like someone is knocking at the door waiting to give us $1 million. The dumping repeats, louder. Alex opens his door and Detective Inspector Carla Zora walks in. She doesn't look happy, nor does she carry anything resembling either a statue or a large amount of money. Oh, hello there. Detective Inspector Carla Zora. A pleasure to see you again. Can we get you a tea? She fixes you with a practiced scowl when you've come to know and love. I've seen you still pretending to smoke those human cigarettes, Carl. You aren't fooling anyone, you know. I think it makes me look dashing, and to do what we do owe the pleasure of your company. This isn't a social call. Is it ever? That time in the red light district? Oh. I was investigating for a divorce hearing. You served me with a cease and desist notice. And that wasn't fun and social. I had to go to the courthouse to get it lifted. That was not fun. Alex stands in the corner, grinning widely. So what's the buzz? Come to grill me for walking on the wrong side of the footpath? Do you know someone named Warrenthrock? You get a sinking feeling in the pit of your stomachs. Can you describe them? Short, spiky, reeks of industrial waste. I might know them. Why? Because he's found dead an hour ago. The boys just dragged him out of the lake. What? Oh. Okay, that took a turn. Shit. And you've come to interrogate me about it because he was holding an envelope with your name on it. Some of us in the force consider that sort of thing to be a little suspicious. You cops think everything is suspicious. If you saw someone who wasn't a cop eating a donut, you start questioning them about where they got it. May I have the note? It's evidence. Are you going to tell me what case you're working on? Which one? I'm on a couple right now. This one involving the stiff on its way to the morgue. Professional confidentiality, I'm afraid. I saw Laura at the last scope yesterday and he was fine as far as I could tell. On his way to getting drunk. Or drunker, very much alive. Anyone able to corroborate that? Rax down at the Gope. He and I were talking about a separate case, missing Kaiju. Why didn't you come down to the station if it's just a missing Kaiju? It's a sensitive kind of missing Kaiju case. I'd rather not draw you a picture, Detective. The pair of you stare at each other for a long minute in silence. Carla Zora breaks first and hands you a steel damp envelope, the seal already torn. Don't you know it's illegal to tamper with the post? We don't have a postal system, Kari, and this is evidence. The paper inside the envelope is mostly dry. On it, you can read a scrawled address in the upmarket district, and a time later tonight. Gonna tell me about that? It's cryptic even for you. You hand the letter to Alex. A contract on another case. Nothing special. Nothing special. Someone we just had to fish out of the wharf has a letter addressed to you, code quenched in their fist, and it wasn't anything special? One of those weird coincidences. What can I tell you? How about any clues? Do you have any clues on what happened to Lauren? Anything else said to see? Carla Zora leans against the wall. She looks tired. Nothing concrete. He'd been dragged a short distance to the lake. Lots of scuffed claw prints, and a recognizable wound shape. We know the town if we saw it again. Honestly, we were hoping you'd know something. Anything. None, I'm afraid. He was found in the lake with his throat slashed. Still had cash on him, and no one had touched his jewelry. Fuck, what a way to go. I've seen worse. Usually murders have more of a point, though. This wasn't a mugging, and it was too sloppy to be a professional hit. Anyway, if you can't help me. She leaves the sentence hanging and glares intently at you. Then I need to get back to the office and write up my report. Unexplained kaiju side isn't exactly rare, but it still doesn't look good for the department. We should go get that drink together one of these days, Carla. I like that Kari. Maybe when we both learned relaxed enough to leave our work behind. That would take a while. Stranger things have happened. That time we were working on a double kidnapping case. That was just a cover for the mayor's children running away, for example. Don't remind me. I still get nightmares about that mess. They never did find all the bits. We got the kids back safe, though. Just don't do anything foolish, Carl. Alex, please stop them from getting themselves killed. Can't promise anything. You know how they can be. Look after yourself, Detective Inspector. She walks out, slamming the door behind her in a way that is uniquely Carla. Your cup nearly rattles off the desk. I can't believe you two used to date. I'm getting so much lore from this, good lord. That was a long time ago, before she became a cop. I'm not going to say that was my worst breakup, but it was definitely the loudest. Do you regret it? What was said? Not at all. She was my first ace relationship, and it was what I needed in my life at the time. Then she signed up to be a thug for the city, and that sort of thing killed the romantic mood. You're a weird monster. True, but I'm a weird monster with a lead. And a dead contact. Oh, and you're the key suspect in the murder of that contact. No doubt, Carla is polite, but she's not clueless. I'll have to keep an eye out for tales when I head out. Look, I'm not happy Loris dead. He was an asshole, but that doesn't mean he deserves to end up in the lake. Who do you think killed him? Whoever doesn't want us to find that rock. And what do we do about it? Simple. We find a rock that they don't want us to find. How are you planning on doing that if it's so simple? By following the money, my dear Alex. We follow the money. And not getting killed in the process of following it, I hope. That's the idea. Keeping my paws crossed so that I don't end up going for a swim myself. What about Rax's case, the missing sister? What about it? We can't just show off that pendant to every kaiju in the city hoping we get a response. Either Rax gives us more to work with, or you remember where you've seen that design. Or we randomly bump into someone on the street holding a looking for my brother's sign. None of those sound hopeful. I'll make a sketch of the design. Maybe it'll help me remember it. Then you can take it back. Thanks, Alex. Appreciate the help. And I appreciate new office furniture. Speaking of which, my new chair is getting delivered tomorrow. I can't wait to see it. I bet it'll be glorious. Just something more appropriate for me to park my scales. You deserve it. He waves you away. You best get moving. Note says you need to be over on the other side of the city in an hour. Stay safe out there, Carl. I mean it. Wherever knocked off lore means business. I'll keep my eyes open and stay away from the open bodies of water. You just make sure the lights stay on. I'll do my best. You always do. It's late evening in the other city, and the crystal that illuminate the city, charged by thermal radiation of the outside world, are actually beginning to dim. Only the central stones, locally known as Zilla's balls. Clever you. Maintained their pale blue glow throughout the night, lengthening shadows and casting most of the city into gloom. The central hub of the city, where the most affluent kaiju build their mansions of stone, get the best of the light. Compared to the dingy district where you'd set up your office, it was almost like walking under the sun itself, or so you imagine. Even the light we get is secondhand. Hard to imagine living somewhere that's not always in shadow. The note from Laura directs you to the front gate of a particularly discreet house on one of the gaudiest streets you've ever seen. While other houses flaunted wealth, mimicking ostentatious human style scaled up to kaiju sizes. This one is a simple box of stone. Still big though. Upscale living for a kaiju who keeps a tight claw on their money. You pull the heavy chain beside the gate. Minutes pass until a voice, croaky and uncaring, echoes out through a speaking tube. No soliciting, proselytizing, or political campaigning. Whatever it is you're selling, I don't want it. You lean in close to the tube and clear your throat. I'm not selling anything. I was told to come here by the late Orenthrock about the business matter. The response takes another minute to return. The late Orenthrock? You didn't hear? There was an unfortunate incident, and regrettably, Laura is no longer with us. Another long pause. You'd best come in. The gate buzzes and opens with a heavy click. You straighten your hat, put on your most deadpan expression, and head through the gate towards the Stark mansion. You open the door. The door is opened by an older kaiju with a smart bow tie and a grim expression. Ooh. You would be the detective Warren spoke of, correct? That's what it would say on my business card if I had any left to offer you. They narrowed their eyes, clearly not impressed. Yes, I am the detective. Karibara is my full name. And my name's Xandron. You could call me Xander. Is that your real name? No, but it'll do for the time being. You're quick off the mark with your questions, detective. If I don't keep asking questions, I'm afraid I might explode with curiosity. A dangerous habit in this city. Only if you have something to hide. It's only dangerous if you have something to hide. We all have something to hide, detective. Even you, I don't doubt. And we hide other kaiju secrets. It's easier that way. Are you good at keeping secrets? As good as the next monster. Xander leads you into a drawing room. Old furniture and low lighting. This is a big place. You don't have any help? Gesturing for you to sit down, Xander lowers themselves into a chair, tentacles wrapping into time worn groves of wind and stone. Good help is hard to find, detective. Besides, I don't need much to keep this little home of mine ticking along. Little? This room is bigger than my whole office. I'd get lost trying to find a bathroom. But I didn't come here to compare domestic arrangements. No, of course, poor Laura rests his hide. Said you wish to discuss a delicate matter. I must say, you don't seem particularly shaken by his loss. After your first few centuries, you start to learn how fragile life is. None of us last forever. I will miss him, though. Would you at least do me the courtesy of telling me how he met his end? I only learned about an hour ago. He was found in the lake with a slit throat. That was not so delicately put, Detective. You didn't ask for delicate, Xander. No, I didn't, did I? Or was my friend for the last 100 years or so. I wish he could have met a nicer end. No one deserves to go out like that. May we meet kinder fates. The boys don't have any leads. No surprises there. Do you have any idea who could have done it? Someone with a grudge? Old ones know he made enough enemies in life. A coincidence you should mention the old ones. You know, of course, why he arranged this meeting. The stone, yes. An object of immense value and importance. Steeped in mystery. Stained with the depths of many. And something you would quite like to get your tentacles on. Oh, indeed, Detective. You have no idea how much I cover that item. How much I covet that item. The monetary value alone makes it an object of true desire. The intrigue it's cloaked in only makes me want it more. And it was Lore's job to get it for you. Xander lets out a ragged laugh. Not quite. Lore was far from the diplomat sort, and wouldn't have been able to obtain it himself. He was a surprisingly good tracker, though. Once he had the scent, I'd given him the job of locating the idol and acquiring the services to get it into the city, which is where my case aligns with your quest. And then what happened? I wish I knew, Detective. I provided a significant sum of money to fund him. Next thing he tells me the artifact is gone along with the hired importer. If it weren't for the fact I spent most of my considerable life trying to obtain the statue, I would have written it off as a loss. Maybe I'm just a victim of sunk cost fallacy, but I can't bear the thought of giving up the chase this late in the game. So I'm guessing you'd be quite interested in getting your tentacles on the rock. More than you could possibly imagine, Detective. There are few things in this life I desire as much as the idol. It is lucky for you that I'm on the case to find it. You were the professional that Lore hired for the job. I'm afraid it's rather more complicated than that. You feel Xander in on the case so far, leaving out the drugging in the hotel and the missing Maxora. So you would be what exactly? A subcontractor here to clean up the mess? Something like that. You want the rock? I want to get paid. Maxora wants to clear her name. And Lore died not long after you took on the case. That does look highly suspicious. Unfortunately, it doesn't look good for me, especially when the police turn up on my doorstep with a blood-stained envelope with my name on it. Which is why it doesn't feel like this was just some random kaiju side. In this job, you learn not to trust coincidences. You may have a point, Detective. Do you want to know what history has to say about the idol? I have a feeling you're going to tell me whether I say yes or no. Maxora said it was something about whoever has the rock gets to rule, something like that. In effect, though the history is mostly oral, in pictograms, enough of it has survived to tell the story. And in the final days of our kind, the stone of blood shall hold the key of our survival. Guard it well, and the power within shall lead us into the future. And to believe all that, Xander, a magic stone of power waiting for someone to grab it. What I believe is immaterial, child. I devoted an insignificant portion of my life to acquiring it. That is all you need to know. In this world, if you have fought for something this long, you don't simply stop wanting it because it's a challenge. You want it more. So the question is, who else knows? Maxora says the only kaiju she told was her contact who was delivering the idol, and they mysteriously died too. Lore assured me that he only went through Maxora. How he met her, I don't know. So that's another dead end, no pun intended. That was poor taste, detective. That means that one of you three spilled your guts. If you're making these morbid puns intentionally, they are not appreciated. Sorry. So, someone knew about the trade-off when the idol was to cross the gates, and they knew that Lore was the go-between for the three of you. Who else knows? One of you isn't telling me the whole story, and now I've got one less kaiju to interrogate. What makes you so sure it's not this Maxora giving you the runaround? Because she's scared shitless right now. Pardon my language. She thought Lore was coming after her when this deal went south, and I don't blame her. So tell me, Xander, who else knows? Who wants the Crimson Old One and is prepared to kill for it? I don't like seeing folks end up in the lake, even if they have been impolite to me. This room is silent except for the cracking fire and the hurt. This isn't the first time I've gone after the idol. You've been after it for a long time, you said. Correct. And in that time, I've dealt with some rather unscrupulous creatures. One who I thought I'd parted ways with many years ago. Ones who might have wanted the statue as much as you? Detective, let me be direct. No one wants that statue more than I. But yes, there are those who covet the prize also. Be out of greed or spite. Did they know Lore was involved? Probable. Lore was my friend. That was known to a few kaiju. Maybe my only friend. He was around for several of my attempts to retrieve the idol. You tap your claws on the arm on the chair. Who's left, Xander? Out of all the bastards he worked with before, which of them are still alive and would kill for some magic rock? Who wants it bad enough? The hunched figure sits, nearly motionless in their chair, staring into the fireplace. Eventually they look up, their face contorted in frustration. Onikogo. Who? Onikogo, an old associate of mine. They were with me when I first went after the idol, back when I have two rocks to rut together. She and I never quite saw eye to eye about the methods that were acceptable to get hold of the old one. As such, our relationship soured somewhat. You mean she would have killed to get it? At the very least, detective. Onikogo comes from a position of some great privilege. As such, she doesn't put much of a value on those she sees as inferior. Unlike you, look at this place. You gesture around at the huge house and lavish furnishings. My current financial situation is not a point of debate here, detective. Sandra's voice drops into a drawl of the streets. Although, from several centuries past. But I'll have you know I clawed myself up from the gutter to get here. And while you're guessing this house, you best not make assumptions. Straightening up, Xander returns to their calm demeanor. My apologies. Ain't let me tongue get the better of me sometimes. So this Onikogo, they are still around? Oh, undoubtedly. Money has a habit to keep rotten fruit on the vine. Do you know where I can find her? I might have to go pay her a little social call. I wouldn't advise that, detective. Why is that? Don't think I'd fit into high society? Honestly, no. I also don't think it would be good for your health. You think Onikogo would kill me for asking where the rock is? Of course not. Onikogo isn't the type to get her hands dirty. Okay, then what? I think she would have someone else kill you. Quickly and quietly, in a way much like our departed colleague Lore. Ooh, that kind of character? Most definitely. Only Kogo won't have touched anyone to do with this endeavor, but she has her claws curled tightly around many of the city's strings. If you decide to pursue this fool's errand, I won't stop you. I want that idol when Orikogo most likely has it secreted in her hoard. But if she does have it, then you're highly unlikely to get your paws on it without great personal risk. Yeah, this seems very, very bad. maybe, maybe we just say I've got a job to do. Why not? I am on this case, Xander. I can't just abandon it because it's dangerous. If I quit now, I not only be letting Maxora and yourself down, but myself too. You would put yourself in harm's way on principle. It wouldn't be the first time. Hopefully it won't be the last. Xander stands and following you follow suit. They extend a tentacle and you shake it. Then you're a braver monster than I. Whatever you choose to go after, the idol or not, please tell Maxora that she is in no danger from me. I consider the depth moot considering the circumstances. They reach down into a small box by the chair, flip through the cards inside, and pull out a rather old and ornately decorated card. Orikogo's address. If they are within the city limits, this is where she will be, along with my personal seal. You take the card and slip it into your pocket. Golden leaf wakes off under your claws. Thank you for your time, Xander. I appreciate you beating me under these circumstances, and I am sorry about what happened to your friend. If you hear from me again, I'll be returning for my cut of the sale. And if I don't hear from you, then throw a flower into the lake for me, because that's probably where I'll be sleeping. Morbid? You'd make a good writer. If I ever write my memoirs, I'll make sure to include you. Things are getting real interesting with this case. Maybe it's Max behind all of this? I mean, who's to say, really? I don't trust her either way. When you open the door to your office the next night, Alex is sitting at his desk, grinning excitedly. You look very proud of yourself. What has you so excited? He puts his hands on the arms of his chair and swivels. Oh, this is a nice chair. A swivel chair? Where under Zilla's glowing balls did you get hold of a swivel chair that I hold your scaly arse? It's the newest thing. Something about old human industrial equipment. I think this thing started life as a crane for shipping containers. You stand there in stunned silence as you watch Alex swivel a full 360, the chair under him groaning mechanically. This may be the greatest technological achievement ever. You deserve nothing less. Thanks, Kari. I'll never ask for anything ever again. Cost that much, did it? It swivels, Kari. It fucking swivels. I mean, yeah, you can't go wrong with a swivel chair. They're pretty rad. You can't help but laugh at Alex's amusement. It's been too long since you saw him so happy. When you're done swiveling, I've got some news about the case. Good news or bad news? That depends on how you like having me around. That depends on how much you like having me around. You tell Alex about the meeting with Xander. His grin fades to a smile, then to a frown. And that's the whole thing. Maxora's on the hook. We've a knob who probably has the rock and isn't afraid to knock off anyone who gets in the way. As well as that old street monster who's happy to pay a bundle for the rock if we manage to get our paws on it. You aren't going, are you? Of course I am. I've been paid to get this damn statue, so I'm going to get it. You've known me for how long, Alex? How many times have I quit halfway through a job? Alex starts counting on his claws. That divorce case last year. Conflict of interest. The lost pet case 6 months ago. You know I'm allergic to those things. My ears keep coming out in a rash. That thing you and Carla Zora never talked about? We don't talk about that. One time you had that cramp that just wouldn't go away, so you told me to. Okay, damn, you're persistent. That's why you hired me. What's the truth? I'm tired of not being able to pay you. I'm tired of barely being able to recover the rent on this place. We're putting food on the table. If this case comes to term, we have that. We never have to worry about money again. Imagine being able to pick cases you wanted to follow, not because we had to. We have the money Maxora gave us. That should cover us for a few weeks. And then what? Hope we get another lost lizard dog before the repo squad turns up to take our chain? To take your chair? It's just a chair. We'll survive, Kari. We always do. I don't want us to just survive. You deserve more than that. We both do. So this isn't all about you having a thing for Maxora. Okay. You start counting on your own claws. First, she drugged me. Second, I'm not really attracted to anyone these days. Third, she drugged me. And fourth, I don't date clients. You dated Carla Zora. She wasn't my client at the time. She also didn't try to drug me. She did dangle me out of a third-story window, but that was entirely consensual. Alex laughs. Whatever you say, boss. There's nothing I can do to call you off this one, is there? Carla Zora is a very interesting character. Good lord, why did you date her in the first place, man? Not this time. Gotta see it through and hope I make it to the end credits. You're the densest kaiju I know. But I have your back no matter what. We're partners. Appreciate it. But hopefully unnecessary. Before you throw yourself into the Leviathan's den, I wanted to talk to you about something. Alex dangles the pendant sketch from a claw. I think I remembered where I saw this before. You did? Well, don't keep me hanging. Would it be nice to close off that case so we don't have that looming over us too? I can't say yet. Not until I'm sure. My memory is good, but it was only one glimpse. So what do we do about it? It's not exactly subtle to ask someone if they happen to have a long-lost brother and would they like to meet them. And even when we do know for sure, it's something we have to do, something handling. We both know how rough that sort of revelation can be. I'll let you know when I'm certain. Alex puts the sketch back on the desk. We'll sort it out, Kari. If anyone can, just find the wrong way to deal with this, it's you. You're always so reassuring, Alex. I don't know what I'd do without you. He shrugs and starts swiveling again. You'd probably be dead. Thanks for the chair. It really means a lot to me. Do you want to see me spin again? Alex is such a dork, I loved him. Orikoko's residence turns out to be a long walk from the office, through the ancient, twisting streets of New Monstropolis. The address Xander directed to you is the Behemoth's Arms, with the internal ring of old stone mansions and offices that serve to house the aristocracy and political heart of the city. And until someone invents a car that can fit your average kaiju, it gives you a long time to think as you trudge to strata of the city, towards the glow of Zilla's balls. Why they call it Zilla's balls? Oh my god. Oh, they're all... Oh, okay. Well, what the hell am I doing out here alone? Maybe I should have brought Alex along as backup. I'm chasing after a shiny rock to clear the name of a dame out of what? What, some sense of justice? There's no justice in this city. This really isn't where I saw myself when I started this gig. Never trust human films. They lie. I swear, if this idol turns out to be made of lead, I quit. If I make it out of this alive, I'm taking a long holiday. Get out of the city for a few weeks. I hear the magma lakes are beautiful this time of year. What the fuck am I doing? I'm just going to get myself killed. That's if this Omikogo even decides to see me. You arrive at the address on Xander's car, and look up at the bulk of the beam's orbs, the first apartment building in the city, and by far the most gaudy. Showing the calling card to the stoic door monster gives you a curt nod and directions to the penthouse suite. The building is affluent enough to even have a kaiju-sized elevator, pulled no doubt by some underpaid swab on a treadmill. You can hear the chains rattle as the elevator rises ponderously to the top floor. These knobs sure know how to live. With a thud, the lift settles into a stop. The short hallway adorned with intricate carvings lead to a double door that probably costs more than anything you own combined. With an only slightly shaking claw, you lift the door knocker and bring it down sharply on the brass plate 3 times. Thud, thud, thud. The sound bounces off the walls like echoes in a long-forgotten cave. Ominous. As the echo dies away, the door creaks open and a creature that could only be the butler looks down on you with utter contempt. Whatever you're selling, we don't want any. Madam is not at home to traveling creatures. Nor does she wish to adopt any orphans. Good evening. They attempt to slam the door in a butlerly way, but you slide your foot in and stop to block them. I'm not here to sell or preach, but I do have business with Madame Onikoga. Please tell her I'm a friend of an old friend. You dangle the name card in front of the butler's face until they snatch it away, kicks their foot away, and slams the door. Charming, these rich folk. Several minutes pass before the butler opens the door again and beckons you in with a disgruntled wave. Issuing you in into a well-lit and richly decorated sitting room, they indicate an ornately carved bench and abandon you to the quit and splendor. The view over the city is incredible, if that's what you're into. From here, it's just shades of gray vanishing into the distance. Oh, Alex, what have I gotten myself into this time? Despite the room's primary aesthetic being something akin to a wealthy dragon's parlor, it lacks the crimson glint of a giant ruby statue. So much for hoping that things would be easy. When you get to my age, detective, you learn that few things are truly easy. Turning to face the figure in the doorway, you manage to avoid knocking over a priceless vase with your tail by the matter of inches. Oh, hello. Mommy, sorry. She stands in the doorway, tall for a city kaiju, her wingtips and horns merely scraping the high ceiling. Would I be right in guessing that you're Madame Onikoga? With observation skills like that, you must be a detective. The hat and coat are also subtle hits. In my line of work, it pays to advertise. She scowls, massive teeth laid bare. Impertinent too, I see. My butler said that you're an acquaintance of Xandron. How is the old trilobite? They're fine. They send their warmest regards. I doubt they sent anything of the sort. Do you mind if I take a seat? It's rather a long walk from my office. By all means, sit wherever you please. Just please refrain from breaking anything. You settle on a bench place conveniently distant from anything fragile. So you know my name, I don't know yours, nor do I know why you're here. Would you will do me the service of amending this imbalance. Detective Karibara, I've been advised that you might be able to assist me in a case I'm working on. We don't get a lot of cats caught up trees or adulterous partners here, detective. So I don't know what I could help you with. That remains to be seen. How well do you know Xander? She sits across from you, in an ornate chair that seems carved specifically for her side, wings tucked neatly behind her. From a side table, she raises a crystal goblet and takes a sip. Can I offer you a drink, detective? No, thank you. I'm a bit hesitant to accept drinks lately. As you wish. I've known Xander ever since they were a youth. Poor thing was living in the gutters, so I gave him a little work here and there. I must say they have elevated themselves admirably. Born to a terrible brood, but far from worthless. And when was the last time you talked? Sipping slowly, Onikoko throws her cup and looks down at you with judgment. Many years ago, perhaps a century or more. We'd have rather a falling out over some trifling matter, and I felt it proper that we maintain some distance. Did it have anything to do with the idol? She stiffens at the mission of the word. Which idol would that be, detective? I'm rather a collector of fine art. My family owns the largest museum in the city. We have several thousand idols, statues, and carvings. It's so hard to keep track of any one piece. Of course, it must be difficult to keep up when you own so much while others have so little. A real emotional strain, I'm sure. You can see the corner of her mouth twitch in a snarl, just for a moment. The idol I'm speaking of would be something you'd remember, though, even for one so endowed as yourself. Oh, you intrigue me, detective. Please describe this item that you believe so strongly I would remember. Big, red, kaiju shaped, probably has some kind of prophecy taped to it. Would have been a recent acquisition. Onikoko wraps her talons across the arms of the chair. I may know of such an artifact, although of course my artistic acquisitions are not a public matter. Of course they aren't. Perish the thought. What business would it be of yours then? I wouldn't think such a thing would be of interest to a street sleuth. Are you an art collector too, detective? I should give it to her straight, honestly. But a part of me is just like, we shouldn't lie, even though she could probably see right through it. You know, how about we save here? Yeah, I don't need that anymore. How about we save here and just see what happens if I make something up? Only my stamp collection. I would very much like to see that collection. The idea of a kaiju philatelist amuses me greatly, especially since no official postal service has ever existed for our kind. Don't you have trouble with all those little pictures? Fair play. You caught me out. I actually collect stories. They aren't as fragile. And what story are you going to tell me tonight, detective? Oh, and please don't waste my time. You amuse me. But even I have my limits. You'll like this one. It has dragons in it. Really? Dragons? You had me at dragons there. No. I hate stories with dragons. You always get sad when they die. It's a family thing. Aw, damn it. To be fair, the story I have is only half complete, so bear with me. It begins with a giant ruby born from the tunneling of the very cavern we live within. An auspicious start to a tale indeed, We kaiju do like our shiny stones. This ruby, prized for its size and uniqueness, was fought over for millennia by the old ones, an icon of status long before we were burdened by economics. Now, money has its benefits. Spoken by someone who has too much of it. Someone who knows its uses far better than you, it seems. May I continue? Please do, I'm riveted. Over time, the ruby was carved, lost, found, traded, and killed for countless times under the ground, and then again upon the surface. Until one day, it returns to the gate of the largest kaiju city within the earth. It's handed from human hands back into the city of monsters. And then we run out of story. The rest of the pages are missing, which is why I have come to see you. Why would you come to me, detective? Because our mutual acquaintance tells me you're one of the few kaiju who knows the story and has the means to write the next chapter. And your part in this narrative? I am but a simple bit player in all this, Onihogo. A useful MacGuffin to drive the plot to its satisfactory conclusion. Remember when I spoke about not wasting my time? Am I doing it now? You are. You speak like you've seen far too many human films. There's a niche theater down on Splinter Street that plays the classics every weekend. That explains much about you, detective. Now, how about you tell me what you want before I lose my patience? Where's the Crimson Old One? You seem awfully sure I possess it. Let's just call it a professional hunch. I think you'll need more than a hunch, detective. And in my world, we take things a little more seriously than you kaiju down on the street. So before you open your jaw again, I would advise you think about your next words very carefully. She flicks the edge of her glass with a claw. The perfect crystal ringing echoes around the room. Do you have the statue? Do you have a credible reason to assume I do? Will you actually answer any of my questions? Will you ask any that I want to answer? Do you always answer questions with questions? Do you intend to keep asking them indefinitely? The pair of you stare at each other for a long moment. She starts to laugh. Oh, detective, you should see your face right now. What do you take me for? Some kind of tyrannical hoarder, stealing the treasures of the world to fill my cave. That's usually how museums are filled. A valid observation. Possession is everything. What I have, I own because I decided I want it. But I do not have Xander's precious stone. After all these centuries, I don't even know if it truly exists, or was just one made up, or just one of their fanciful dreams. If I were you, detective, I would leave this fool's errand behind you, and move on with what I've no doubt is an interesting life you live. Or else you might find that life to be far shorter and more interesting than you'd expect. Is that your final answer? It is. Well then, it's best I take my leave. I have a job to do, Onigogo. One I intend to do to the best of my ability. And I'm not going to stop digging as long as I'm on that job. Dig too long, detective. You may find yourself digging your own grave. Should I take that as a threat? Onikogo stands, wings rippling around her. Take it however you wish, but I recommend you dig elsewhere. The ground in these parts is treacherous. My butler will show you out. A pleasure, Onikogo. Good luck with the horde. I'd wish you luck, detective, but I don't see much point. A very interesting person. Her heavy footsteps echoed down the alleyway leading from the heart of the city back to the working neighborhoods of the outer rings. The rubble of these streets rotted by 10,000 years of giant beast. Your talons kick up blooms of dust as you pass detritus of ages. In areas like this, the shadows from the taller, richer buildings cover the poorer districts in a blanket of gloom. A fitting buffer of silence to keep the scum at bay. It's places like this that the worst crimes happen, and the lawless region between the honest poor and the corrupt rich. Under one of the few dim street lamps between you and the other end of the alley leads a heavy-set figure, attempting to look inconspicuous and failing. They wait with menacing purpose. As you approach, trying to keep a ready distance between you, they raise their head and gesture out with an open paw. Hey buddy, got a light? Really? How original? Really? Got a light? Couldn't think of anything more original. Oh, what the? Don't pay to mess with the classics. But it does pay to mess with you. Two giant paws clasped together and their knuckles crack loudly. Onikogo's higher scales? Funny. I expected you to be taller. A grin with many missing teeth leers down at you. What's funny is no one's ever paid to have you shut up before now. You're wrong there, but you may win the prize for the ugliest goon paid to beat me up. Oh, I'm gonna enjoy this. As long as one of us does, that's okay, right? Job satisfaction and all that. In the past, you've survived a total of 7 barroom fights, many against foes much larger than this creature. The secret is to hit low and run like hell. From behind you hear the sound of claws sliding against each other. Oh. Oh no. Oh, that's not good. The pain as the claws swipe through your shoulder is more intense than you could have imagined. Being beaten up is one thing. You've been through that before, too. Being slashed is excruciating. This must be how war went out. A dog in front of you lands a punch in your gut. You go down hard trying to shield your stomach and shoulder with one good arm. Thick blood runs through your fingers. Orikogo said to tell you, try harder next lifetime. Good sense of humor, huh? Any response you try to give comes through as hiss from between clenched teeth. As you await the killing swipe of the claw, you turn your lights out forever, you hear. As you await the killing swipe of the claw to turn your lights out forever, you hear the lamp above you explode, plunging the alley into darkness. What the fuck? A series of wet thumps and cut-off screams follow. The last thing you want to do is look up and see what's happening. For a full minute, the alley is in silence. The entire district seems to be holding its breath. A hand reaches down, wraps you by the good arm, and raises you to your feet. Haven't done that in a while. Good to know I still got it in me. In the pitch blackness, you hear a scrambling and the sound of a match being struck against the wall. A burst of light in the darkness is almost blinding. Oh, Alex, hey! Sorry I'm late. I don't walk as fast as I used to. Alex? Alex, and I mean this in the nicest way possible. What the actual fuck? He holds the match up close to his arms, examining the blood covering from claws to wrist. I was following you. Thought that part was obvious. Good. None of this X seems to be mine. You go after one of the most well-known knobs in the city. One who we know has killed before, and expect me to stay in the office playing with my chair. Carla would have had my head if she knew I let you go off alone. That match burns out and he strikes another. He begins to lead you out the alley and back towards the office. I really need to wash my hands. I hate the feeling of thug on my scales. You scare me sometimes, Alex, but I've never been gladder to have you working with me. So does this mean I got my name painted on the door too? No, I like you too much. Every movie I've seen where there are two PIs working in one office, they are scraping one of their names off the door within the first 15 minutes. And you're afraid I'd get knocked off. That's sweet. Hell no. I'm afraid I'm getting knocked off. You're the one who just saved me from ending up in the lake. At least we know one thing. That Onikoko wants you dead. Haha. Besides that, no. We now know that she has the idol for sure. Otherwise, she wouldn't have bothered sending muscle after me. And that's supposed to be reassuring? That means we just need to figure out how to get it from her. Is this the heist movie all of a sudden? Sure, why not? But let's save the planning montage until we're back in the office, and I stop leaking all over the city. The goal would be closer. Fine, get me there. Hopefully Rax doesn't get pissed off when I bleed on this floor. We're in a big fucking mess here, Kari. You're telling me they tore my fucking coat. You really are a special kind of monster, detective. No, get out of my bar. Come on, Rax. You know I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't urgent. You're bleeding out. I can see that. They are bleeding out all over my nice, clean floor. You know how I feel about my floor, Alex. Sorry, I'll try to bleed less. You owe me, Rex. This place is on the way to the office. I need to patch them up before they collapse on the street. I didn't even know I had this much blood in me. Shut up, Kari. Please, Rex? Fine. But if any trouble follows you, you will need to find a new drinking hole. I like trouble as much as I like kaiju messing up my floor. Deal. Thank you. Rex lifts up the counter slab and gestures you both behind the bar. Go through the back. There's a room you can use. There should be some bandages or something in there to patch that wound till it clots. Try not to make too much of a mess. I sleep back there, you know. Got anything to eat back there? I could really go for a snack. I said shut up. Thanks, Rex. In the back room, you collapse on the flagstones. Alex rummages through a cabinet. Are they going to come after us, Kari? Do you want me to be honest? Right here, right now? Yes, I want you to be fucking honest. Then yes, she's going to come after us. She's thought I was only worth a couple of cheap thugs. An inconvenience. When she finds out that didn't work, she's going to get serious. He comes over and carefully removes what's left of your coat, wiping the blood off your face and tosses it aside. One of your prop smokes falls out. It might not be real, but the practice rhythm of channeling smoke through it provides some small comfort. How do you figure that? Because I'm here with you, and not at the bottom of the lake. She won't have been expecting that. If she thought I was capable of causing actual trouble, I'd never have left her penthouse. Now? Who knows? Look at the sudden mass on the floor. Look at my poor coat. I really fucking love that coat. Forget about the coat. The coat is not important right now. We'll get you a new one. You hiss through your tusk as he wipes the area down in something that burns like ice. So what do we do now? Now we go out there and have a drink with Rex, act like everything is okay, and then after that, I'm going back to the office to hibernate for a few centuries. Alex wraps some heavy bandage over your shoulder and starts to wipe the worst of the goon off yourself. You can already feel the flesh getting back together, but the cut went deep. It'll take some time to close over completely. Best I could do. Doesn't look poison or anything. You should heal up by morning. Let's get back out there. Let's get back out before Rax comes looking for us. I should grab my coat. What's left of it anyways. Is it weird I'm beginning to like Rax? Nah, he's a good kaiju. Just don't get on his bad side. The pair of you shuffle back into the main room and sit down heavily at the bar. Everything okay back there? No offense, but you look like shit, Kari. I feel like shit. In fact, I don't think I've ever felt so much like shit in my life. Must be something I ate. Can we get a drink? For some reason, I need to wash the taste of blood out of my mouth. Sure, what will it be? Give me a monster mash. Alex will have the savage stomp. You sure? I could have gave you something stronger to deal with the pain. Booze and blood loss don't mix. You should know that by now, Rax. Yeah, fair enough. Here you go. He spears a couple cans and drops them neatly in front of you. Your arms still feel weak, but you can manage lifting the can. Thanks, Rax. Hey, about lore? I heard. Fucking shame, going out like that. I'm sorry, it shouldn't have happened that way. Don't sweat it, kid. This isn't the first time I lost a customer. Won't be the last. When did he hear? Well, we found out earlier tonight. Detective Carla Zora paid me a visit. Everyone knew Laura drank here. Those who gave a damn. Hope she didn't grill you too hard. Nah, usual cop kaiju shit. Ask me a bunch of questions about you now. In a way that might make some kaiju extremely nervous. None that I had too much to tell. You raise your can, wincing at the pain in your shoulder. Sounds like Carla. She and I go way back. We may have had an encounter with the kaiju that offed Lore this evening. Which is how we ended up here. Instead of in the lake. Judging by this mess, I'm guessing those goons won't be interfering with my customers anymore. Not unless they end up in the same afterlife. Glad to hear it. Now hurry up and finish your drinks. I want you out of my damn bar before the cops turn up again. They make my fist itch. Thanks, Rex. I think this squares us. No, I doubt it, Alex. I still owe you pretty big. Should I ask? No. Fine. Alex, you can stay if you want. I'm gonna slump back to the office and crash on the couch. Don't think I can make it all the way back to my dinner like this. If you're sure, I can help you back if you need me. I'm sure, Rex. But Alex on my tab? Put Alex on my tab. I'll see you both later. Sweet dreams, Slick. Hey, Stainra, have you seen anyone follow us in? The figure shakes their head, slowly weaving around him. Good. Keep your eyes out for trouble tonight. We left a bit of a trail this way. Who knows what might follow it on a night like this? They glared at sticky puddles of ichor and nod. Oh, and make sure Alex gets home safe, okay? Think those two are gonna be up catching up one of the times. You adjust the bandages crossing your body and tip your hat. It's gonna be a long fucking night for all of us. The walk back to your office is slow and painful, each plodding step rocking your injured back, keeping you this side of consciousness. From within your chest you feel a familiar tightness you come to dread, far more insidious than the grip of fear from the assault. You just need to make it inside, then you can let it out. One claw in front of the other. It seems to take an eternity. Back in the office, you dump your shredded coat on the floor and collapse on the crude stone couch. And the low light streaming through the office grimy windows, the room looks about desolate. Looks cold, desolate. It feels weird without Alex here. I'm lucky to have that smug-ass boy in my life. I'd be dead a dozen times over without him. Let out a long, slow breath, trying to exhale some of the pain with it. What the hell am I doing? I'm going to get myself killed. The chill of the room makes your injured shoulder burn like an inferno. As hard as you try to hold it off, you feel the shock of the attack swinging back to hit you. You've held it in long enough. Fuck. Breathe. Just keep breathing, Kuribara. Smoke pours from your mouth in waves as you try to keep your heartbeats under control. The fake cigarette long forgotten on the floor. Alright, let's just get this over with. You repeat the mantra Alex taught to you long ago. Let it come, let it go. It doesn't help much, but it keeps you grounded just long enough that the panic doesn't overtake you. You wish Alex was here, but you don't want him to see you like this. Not again. Let it come, let it go. The cases will still be there tomorrow. Let it come, let it go. I should have asked Rax more about his pendant. Tomorrow. There's always tomorrow. In time, your heart's slow your frantic beats, and the fire in your belly settles to a slow smolder. The hand keeps a cup of water by your side. You look up at the dimly lit silhouette leaning over you. You'll get through this, Kari. I'm not going anywhere. Now get some sleep, and if you do something like this again, I'll kill you myself. You're a real sweetheart, Alex. Sweet dreams, you big lug. Close your eyes as you feel oblivion welcome you back. Let it come, let it go. Shop the eight. Good lord. What a story this has been so far. My god. The light of these early evenings illuminate the office when you wake up. Judging by the shadows, you've been asleep at least a dozen hours. Alex is at his desk, hunched over a stone tablet, his claws gently tapping the armrest of his industrial chair. You're too damn good to me. The pain in his shoulder has settled into a low throb. The flesh feels stitched but raw. In this moment of peace, you take the time to think about. There's a lot to think about in regards to this. I'm kind of curious what they think about Max. That poor kid, scared out of her hide, afraid for her life. All on account of some old kaiju's quest for a shiny stone. She may be untrustworthy, but she doesn't deserve to live in fear. Then there's the other thing. We'll sort it out, I promise. Think about Laura. If it weren't for Alex, you would have suffered the same fate as Laura in that alleyway. One slip up, then the fall. A watery grave and a cold case. No one deserves to go out like that. Was he poking around at Orikoko at Sandra's instruction too? Did he find something out? Does life mean that little to her? I'll get her for you, Laura. I'll try to, anyway. Think about the cases. 2 cases linked by an unlikely thread of coincidence. Orikoko is not likely to be impressed by your flunkies meeting the messy end of Alex's temper. No doubt she'll have a dozen ready to take their place. Bigger ones that may not go down so easy. That's not exactly reassuring. Then you've got poor damn Braxton's missing sister. Alex said he had a lead there. Paws crossed and go somewhere. And to think, a week ago, everything seemed too quiet. Did you want a cup of tea? Or are you just gonna sleep all night? Alex is still focusing on the tablet. From your position, it's impossible to tell if it's case files? Or just a nice crossword puzzle. A tea would be nice. Extra strong if you can. I feel like I've gone 3 rounds in the Kaiju Wrestling League. can do. If you can give me an 11-letter word for defeated an expectation. Oh god, I don't know this. That is a good question. Proceeds to Google it. Maybe to squint? No, that's not right. Doesn't fit with 17 across. Might be disillusion. I like you, so I'll get your tea anyway. You sit up, gently remove the blood-crusted bandages, and roll your shoulder. The fresh muscles still tense, accompanied by the ache of bad memories. We should talk about last night. He places the steaming cup on the desk and prods at your back. We should. The cut looks alright, healing nicely, but you're going to have an impressive scar. Glad it's faster than all those giant monster healing scenes you see in the movies. I don't have time to go lay in a volcano for a week for my back to heal. Someone's a Godzilla fan. I don't have time to lay in a volcano. Oh, yeah, that's what it sounds like a nice holiday, though, doesn't it? Picking up your shredded coat, you shrug it on as best you can. How do I look? Like shit. But without the coat, you look wrong, so we'll have to do until we get you a new coat made up. Did you mean what you said last night? That Orikoko will be coming after you. I stuck my muzzle where I shouldn't have. She didn't like that. But I also didn't have anything stone solid on the idol. I don't know if that means she's going to wait for my next move, or send in the heavy scales to finish the job tonight. Those things were her way of trying to swat a pesky bug before it got too loose. You're lucky you don't splat so easily then. I'm lucky to have you watching my arse. On that note, how often do you follow me like that? Only on cases where I think you're going to get into trouble you can't get out of. So, about a third of the time, what can I say? I'm a good friend. Why? Are you angry? I'm just shocked. I haven't noticed before now. For a kaiju, you're sneaky. He raises his mug in the air, the scales of his arm changing color until they match the hue of the stonework. Always forget you could do that. You're like one of those cuttlefish things. And that's why you're still alive. What are we gonna do about the rock? We can't go at this alone. There's too much at stake here. Sure as hell I don't trust Maxor to show up and do the right thing. From where I'm standing, we have two options. We either convince Xander that if they want the idol, they need to be more involved. Or I get down on my knees and beg Carla for help. I always figured you two had been into that kind of thing. I'm not admitting to anything. She's the only other kaiju I know with connections who might be able to trace the crimson orb, who I can trust to keep her mouth shut about it. So which is it, the twisted old treasure hunter or the crooked cop? Yeah, this is interesting. I think this is another case of saving and seeing what happens. You don't really need to save here. We already know what's going on. We're gonna ask Xander. Why not? We need to talk to Xander. They've known Onikogo for a long time now. If anyone has the dirt on her, we need it. Them. And so far, they're the only kaiju I've spoken to this week who hasn't threatened me in any way. That practically makes us best friends. So the plan is to pit the rich against each other and sneak off with the idol while they're tearing each other's throats. Or they're tearing out each other's throats. Can you think of a better outcome? It's a lot easier to eat the rich when you're worn out from fighting one another. And we suddenly end the class warfare business. Maybe in the sequel. What? What? Nothing. I think I need to get my hearing checked. Either way, we need a plan. And we aren't going to make that happen sitting on our tails. Xander has centuries of doing with Onikogo and her kind. We need to know anything that could help. Fine, just try not to get hurt along the way. I'll do my best. When you arrive at Xander's mansion, they eagerly usher you inside, which is a welcome change from all that doors slapping in your face. Detective, this is quite a surprise. I'd offered to take your coat, but I'm afraid it would fall apart in my claws. Hey, devils. I take it from the state of your attire that you spoke to Onikogo and her associates. You eased yourself onto a chair by the fire. I did. Thank you again for the introduction. It was a life-altering experience, to say the least. Almost terminally so. I did warn you that she wasn't the type to be trifled with. I am, however, pleased to see you return in more or less one piece. You did indeed. Thankfully, my assistant was able to negotiate a satisfactory solution to the encounter. Is everyone alright? Only Coco's tired muscle wasn't. Last I saw, they were spread across an alleyway in the Burroughs district. Oh, and my tailor is going to have a few choice expletives for me. Amusingly gruesome. However, you are safe, and for that, we should be grateful. In all probability, Laura's death has been avenged, be it unintentionally. That is some comfort. I am grateful. Detective, it would have left me with a bad feeling were it otherwise. And on the subject of the item we previously discussed, did you manage to acquire it? Not quite yet, but I'm convinced she has it. Oh, she won't say that much out loud, but her body language told me everything I needed to know. Especially the bit where she sent 2 goons after me to prevent me investigating further. Some might consider that a subtle hint. So now we have a bit of a conundrum here, Xander. One I hope you have some insight on. They pick up a poker in one tentacle and jab at the fire. They pick up a poker in one tentacle and jab at the fire. How do we retrieve the idol from Onikogo's clutches? Not an easy feat. With luck, we can sneak into where it's being kept and grab it before she notices. She already thinks she owes to me. Now's the perfect time. But first, we need to know where it is. And you are assuming I would know. I assume you have some damn clue. You've known her since you were young. For all your facade of being one the rich and powerful, you've never truly been one, have you, Xander? Whatever do you mean? I mean, Onikogo hates you. She speaks politely of you, of course, in her own way. But in her cold heart, you're still the same trash he pulled up from the gutter. Just like me, just like Noir, who died by her order. You were born in the dark, and you fought for the light. But it's not what you expected, was it? Xander glares at you, the metal poker slowly bending under tightening grip. Mind your tongue, detective. It waggles too freely. Am I wrong? If you went up to the behemoth's arms right now, would she welcome you as one of their own? Would she sit you down in that treasure room of hers, offer you to a drink, and speak fondly of old times? Or would she leave you out in the cold, forgotten, ignored? Would she even waste her spit on you? For a moment, you wonder if you might have pushed too hard. At this distance, Xander could have torn you open in a heartbeat. There may be truth in what you say. A sliver of it, but truth all the same. She stole this from you, Xander, the Crimson Old One. This one thing you've been searching for all your life, and she's taking it without even trying, because she can. You gesture to the room around you. This room is not a hoard. You've got some nice stuff here, but you don't sit upon a pile of treasure. That isn't who you are. In the dark you were born, in the dark you belong, no matter how much gold you have to catch the light. She knows that. She took one thing you really wanted in this filthy world, for no other reason than you wanted it. They sigh and drop the twisted poker into the grate, collapsing into another chair, staring into the flames. I stand by my belief you'd made a good writer. You're lost in the literary world. So what do you suppose I do, detective? Onikogo has power far beyond what I possess. Politicians, police, even the thugs on the street. She has them all in her claws. But you have information over her, don't you, Xander? You've known her for so long, her dirty secrets, her hiding places, the things she'd rather not be made public. Xander trails a tentacle through her talons, stroking it without seeming to notice. A few things, detective. A few. Even one or two, if she knew, she'd have me taken down without hesitation. So tell me, Xander. Let me get her back for you. Let me get this idol for us. Just for once, you can have the thing she wants. What do you want to know? If you were Onikogo, where would you hide the idol so only you could get to it? Depending on how the chapter goes, I may just take a little break. Because, good lord, I've been talking for like almost 3 hours now. The Lakeside Museum. The Lakeside Museum. Most opulent and well-guarded collection of cultural artifacts in the city. That Lakeside Museum? Unless there's a local artist cameo of the same name, then yes. A vault underneath it, to be precise. Have you lost your mind? I'm asking you seriously here. Think about it, Alex. She won't be expecting us to go after it. Not so soon after she sent the goons after me. She'll be up on her land, going about squashing the private eye, and meanwhile we'll be pilfering her ill-gotten treasure. This is all just some big game to you, isn't it, Callie? Kari. Alex taps his claws on his desk, fitfully. I'm not saying it doesn't make sense that Onikogo would stash the idol there. It's a fortress that even a mega kaiju would find hard to crack. It practically has dragon horde carved into the frontage, which is exactly the place I'd be keeping a huge ruby idol if I'd stolen. Museums are traditionally resting places for stolen cultural treasures, after all. And there she could be smug, knowing that possibly the most valuable artifact to our kind is sitting in her vaults, under our noses. My nose. You don't have one. Under my gills, then. Don't be a pedant. Did Xander say they could help us get the damn thing? Eventually, they have a thick hide, but I managed to talk my way into their heart. They say they know a way in. Some secret interest from the days they used to work for Onikogo. I like to hear that story sometimes. As would I. I have a feeling there's a lot more history between the two than they're letting on. We can also use their boat to get out there. I don't think the commuter ferry would be the wisest way to smoke out a giant ruby. We could just say we got it from the gift shop. So what's the plan then? In an ideal world where everything works out perfectly, we boat over to the museum, sneak in the back door, grab the idol, get out, head it over to Xander, cash in, retire to the outskirts. After this week, the idea of escaping to a quiet life under a volcano sounds wonderful. Do you really think it's going to be that easy? Hell no. I think we're probably going to die. A gentle knocking rattles the door. If that's Death telling her she's early or late, either way, she needs to make an appointment. Alex opens the door to reveal a nervous looking kaiju. Ah, Miss Mixora. Kari and I were just talking about you. She walks across the room towards you, Alex following close behind her, ever to protect her. Miss Mixora, what a pleasure to see you again. I'd offer you a drink, but I know you prefer there's something extra in it, and I'm all out of tranquilizers. That was a cheap shot, detective, but I deserved it. You deserve more than that. Can you say what you're feeling now, please, so we can move on with our lives? Funny you should mention our lives. What do you mean? I mean, Laura's dead, Max. Not sure if you'd heard, so I felt it only right to tell you now. He's dead? Afraid so. How did it happen? Same way I got a shiny new scar across my back. Same reason I need to go buy a new coat. It's coming out of my expenses, by the way. Kaiju tailoring isn't cheap. I'm sorry, Detective, I didn't know. How would you, Max? You didn't kill him or attack me. Otherwise, you wouldn't be having this little conversation. Trust me. Alex taps his cane meaningfully. I'm sorry, I didn't realize things had gotten this bad. How much do you know? Nothing, I swear. I paid my contact to get the idol through the gates and to a safe drop-off location. No questions asked. When I went looking for them, I found they had an industrial accident and there was nothing at the drop-off. When they died, I ran. You know the rest. I'm not a killer, Kari. I swear. No, you aren't. You're a lot of things, but not a killer. At least not yet. Or died when he went poking around for the rock when he found out you didn't have it. We know who ordered the hit, and we have a solid guess where the item is now. You do? Where is it? Why should we tell you, Miss Mixora? You haven't exactly been a lot of fun, of trustworthiness up to this point. Because I can help get it back, if you'll let me. You look over to Alex, who nods knowingly and taps the side of his glasses. You can't be trusted, but you still need her. You know I can't trust you, Max. You probably won't stab me in the back, but I hope you won't just cut and run on me again. But I still need you on this. We started this together, so we should finish it together. And I feel safer having you right to see you. I understand. I hope I'll get a chance to earn that trust back one day, Kari. Thank you for at least being honest with me. Honestly, it's free. It's lies that'll cost you extra. Do you really think we'll be able to get to statue? It won't be easy. Honestly, I don't know. The current owner has proven she's more than willing to take down a competition. I wouldn't put it past her to try and crush us again. If we all work together for once instead of serving our own interests, we might just make it through the night. I know, right? They're so good. Then I can hope the older ones are with us. We'll need all our help we get. Thanks, Max. And when we're all done, there's something else we need to talk about. Something pretty important. Good important or bad important? I guess that's up to you. I could just wait here if you want me to. No, we need to do this. Who knows what's going to happen in there? If you ever wanted to prove that your intentions in this whole deal are honorable, this is the time. Then I'll do my best to prove it to you, to myself. Then come along, Max. We have a boat to catch. Chop their tongue. The docks on the city side of the lake are practically empty this time of night. A police barge and a couple of cargo boats bob gently against unseen currents. Off in the distance, you see lights flickering from tunnels that stretch into the endless underground. The Kaiju cities you've never visited. I can do that, yeah. Or a nosedive if I really need it. Oh, yeah, it's been 3 hours. Why not? Why not a little BRB for the occasion, I guess. Wait. after a brief musical intervention, I guess. Oh, and it crashed. Okay, great. just what just what we needed. Games crash. You love to see it. We boot it up again, I guess. That's really good. Save any progress. That's great. You love to see it. No, it's fine. It's fine. We're just gonna skip over a bunch of stuff. It's fine. Why must you do this to me again? Oh well. It's fine. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. That's so weird. I'm not sure why. It works perfectly fine for me. I don't know what could it be really. Either... You know, it's not a stream without a bit of Scuff, I guess. I don't know. I'm trying my best here. maybe this thing is just getting too old. I don't know. I've had this thing for like a couple years at this point. Yeah. You know, the show must go on. I guess. I'll try troubleshooting stuff later. The docks on the city side of the lake are practically empty this time of night. A police barge and a couple of cargo boats bob gently against unseen currents. Off in the distance, you see lights flickering from tunnels that stretch into the endless underground, the kaiju cities you've never visited. I don't know why, but the water has always been calming to me. Is that weird? Yes, it's weird. You're a fire breather, Kari. Water is your natural enemy. I like to think the water and I have made peace. I don't burn it, it doesn't burn me. Across the water, you see the bulbous bulk of the Lakeside Museum, one of the oldest buildings in the city. Less of a construction, more of a geode, holding the glittering jewels of aristocracy. Eat the rich, smash open their vaults to feed the masses. Let their kind live in fear. What's that from? I think the humans say. Of course, they're less likely to actually eat each other from what I hear. Unfortunately. Maybe that's why they won, not actually eating each other all the time. They won because they'd rather a planet with no life on it than one where they aren't in charge. A sentiment shared by plenty down here. At the end, it was looking like there wasn't going to be anything left of either of us. I guess we got off easy. The pair of you stare out across the water, soft light from Zilla's balls reflecting off the surface. I cannot take that name seriously, good lord. What the hell are we doing here, Kari? Is this all worth it? The deception, the death? Why are we going through this with this damn scheme? Because I want to do the right thing, Alex. I want things to be better. Everything that's happened these past few nights, they all point to a way to make the city a better place. At least, in some small way. If we can walk away from tonight not having to scrape to survive, and get to rob the rich in the process. It sounds like a good outcome to me. You're a real dreamer, Kari. Next thing you'll be giving our cut of the deal to charity. We are charity. But right now, so is Mixora. Even Xander, in their way, needs us. So where does that leave us tonight? Tonight, we get the idol back. We shove Oniko's snout in failure for once in our life. We win for once in ours. My detective, you speak with such conviction. You sound ready to charge into the very maw of hell itself. Is that usual for someone in your line of work? I want to know. As far as I'm aware, I'm the only private detective this city has ever had. That must make you easy to track down, at least. For better or worse. Xander, may I introduce my charming assistant, Alex Torres. He will be assisting us in tonight's impossible mission. Pleasure to meet the architect of this adventure in larceny. Oh, Alex is the best. Indeed. I apologize that this whole affair has proven to be far more exciting than expected. You could say that. We're not the kind of kaiju that expect a lot of excitement in our lives. It's a shame that poor Lauren was not around to be a part of this. They would have proven most capable. Shall we make our move, detective? The night is passing and we have much to do. They indicate one of the barges moored to the deck, moored to dock. We can head off shortly. We have one more member of our little team to arrive. You spoke of this to someone else, detective. I expected better of you than to bring in someone from the outside. Oh, they aren't from the outside, Xander. In fact, she is closely involved with the idol than you'd expect. You actually waited for me, Kara. I'm surprised. I wouldn't leave without you, Max. You wouldn't be here without you after all. Aha. You wouldn't be the contractor the late Lord brought on board to import the statue. That I am. My name is Max Soren. You would be Xander? My reputation precedes me. A pleasure to meet such a delightful creature. If only we met under more favorable conditions. I'm sorry about what happened to Lord. He was a good kaiju. Nonsense. He was a drunkard and a brute. But he was my friend all the same. I'm going to miss him. Tonight we shall make the puppet master of his demise pay for what she did to him. I hope your boat is big enough to take us all across the lake, Xander. I know you didn't expect the extra assistant. And we've a lot to do tonight. I'm not making multiple trips. My craft is more than suitable. Of course, it's a small inlet on the far side of the island. Our course is a small inlet on the far side of the island. If we travel without light, we should go unnoticed until we arrive. From there, we enter the museum through the service tunnel, Xander as used before, and we locate the idol. Alex will remain with the boat in case we need him to make a quick getaway. More like a moderate getaway. I don't move too fast these days. What do you need me to do, Kari? I've never been a part of a heist before. Ah, Max, we need you to watch our backs. A role of vital importance. Xander hasn't been in the museum in years, so we don't know what to expect. Can you put up much of a fight, Miss Mixora? You want to believe what I've had to fight for in my life, Xander. You shouldn't worry about yourself, old monster. You're looking to be getting on in centuries. The petulance of youth. You're a little more than a hatchling, my dear. Wait till you see what life has in store. Not your dear. And I know what life has in store. I'm ready to bite back. Now, can we get a move on? I'd like to get the idol before I'm fossilized like this one here. Glad to see you two are getting along so well already. I'm surprised no one has thrown a punch yet. Maybe after all this is over. For now, the night is passing and we've got a rock to rescue. Would all those heading to the Lakeview Museum please form an orderly line and board the craft? Tonight's movie will be the big stop. Drinks and light snacks will be served during our voyage. We're all gonna die, aren't we? Most certainly. But what fun is... but what's fun it's going to be in the meantime? Chapter 11. The hulking outline of the museum's dome stretches far above you like the back of a sleeping beast. From this side, away from the light of the city, only a few glimpses of light from high windows hint at anything more than lifeless rock. Ah, my old soldering ground. It's been far too long since I visited the museum. Although I must say, I'm rather more accustomed accustomed to bringing things to it and taking them away. Ever thought of going into business, giving the artifacts back to their original owners? I warn that there's no money in doing the right thing, young monster. Maybe not, but sometimes doing the right thing is enough. Spoken like someone destined to be poor forever. Not of just high school as well. Sorry to interrupt, but are we going to rob this place or stand outside chatting all night? The lady has a point. We should get inside, so as to not arouse suspicion. Against the near sheer cliff edge of the museum, the outline of a doorway can just be made out. There's no handle or lock. How do we get in? Ah, well, there's a bit of a trick to that. Excuse me. Xander slides a tentacle around the edge of the doorway until it slips into a crevice hidden in shadow. I have no reason to believe only Kogo has updated security in this part of the building. She's not the type to believe in someone like me could be a threat. Does she think of anyone as a threat? No one. She hasn't already killed now. The length of the tentacle tenses, and you hear a slow grinding noise from behind the door. After a tense moment, the tentacle surges back. The door swings open with a low creak. If I ever lose my office keys, I'm calling you. Detective, you couldn't afford my call-out rate. I promise you. Stay safe in Area 3. You see what only Kogo is capable of. I don't want to be taking this boat home alone. Do our best, Alex. Whatever happens in there, I just want to be okay. Now you stop right there, Kari. You're coming out of there alive, and in as many pieces as you went in. Max, make sure they come out of there, and I'll take every mean thing I've said about you. And I'll take back every mean thing I said about you. That's a deal. Detective, Miss Maxora, let us go get ourselves a priceless artifact. Working through the labyrinthine hallways beneath the museum takes longer than you'd hope. Xander frequently pauses to slither over the objects piled around halls and storerooms you pass through. Sculptures, vases, bones of kaiju long since extinct. None of them are the idol you seek out, but Xander is enamored by each and every one. Looking for something specific? Just revisiting a few memories, Detective. Much of my youth was spent as a collector of these objects. How did the original owners feel about parting with them? Usually, reluctant and often angry. I've done many terrible things, Detective, but a job is a job. God damn it, why? I have no idea why. So weird. Maybe it's working now? I have no idea. Things are gonna be a bit scuffed, but you know what? It's fine. We'll live and learn. I hope. I hope things are sounding a bit better on my end. I just did the tried and true method of turning it on and off again. You know, the show must go on. I found a lot of satisfaction collecting all these trinkets and treasures. I like to think that made me part of something bigger. No comment. Scoff all you want, but these items have much to teach us. Yay, that's good to hear. Even walk down here in the basement, where no one will ever see them. You may have a point, Miss Mexora. Where the hell is the rock, Xander? We don't have all night. I kinda like it down here. It's quiet and full of shiny things. Can we take some souvenirs? No souvenirs. We're only here to take back the idol. We aren't thieves. Or I'm not, at least. If you want a souvenir, you can come back tomorrow and go to the gift shop. I hear they have nice coffee mugs. The vault should be just down this hall. It's where Onikogo stores all of her most treasured possessions that she can't keep on display. Because Kaiju would know they're stolen? Oh, most certainly. She loves the idea of having society unknowingly treading the halls above her ill-gotten hoard. You best be careful then. Hoards usually come topped with dragons. Onikogo isn't a dragon, Miss Mexora. Dragons have tact, grace, and mercy. Onikogo has none of these, and only knows how to take. That makes her far scarier. So I'm guessing we won't be leaving behind a bouquet of flowers and a small box of chocolates for her when we leave. Not unless I knew it rid her from this would to do so. Detective. My, Xander. Are those teeth you finally grown? I'm impressed. Quieten down, you two. We're trying not to get caught robbing a museum. Ooh, that looks cool. You arrive at another door. This one far more imposing than the covet one with which you entered the museum, built around the jaws of some mega kaiju. It's big, forbidding, and practically shouts its intentions to remain closed. This is a big door. A very big door. I've never seen a door this big before. Young kaiju, so easily entertained. It's just a door like any other. It would take a mega kaiju to pull that thing open. Do you know any? Well, the taste of them died off. Well, the last of them died off during the war, so I'd say no. It's a big door. Xander, how do we get through? Onikogo failed to secure the rear entrance, so with luck, I still know the combination to open the vault. They reach out a pair of thick tentacles and wrap them around the circular stone of the lock, grunting between their rows of teeth. The lock slowly turns one way, then the other, and back again. The silence in the halls is enough that you can just about hear the dust move. God, I can't talk today. She changed the combination, didn't she? She changed the combination. Of course she changed the combination. I mean, I'm not really that surprised, but you know, it's fine. They'll figure it out. Fuck. Of course she changed it. It's been how many years since you've been down here? We should have guessed. So what are we gonna do? Even with 3 of us, I don't fancy our chances trying to tear the door off. Not unless you have the same power to shake apart densely compact indigenous rock. Does anyone have that ability? The kaiju that made the door, no doubt. I can't say it's as common a gift as some. Fire breathing, for instance. Gee, thanks for making me feel special. So what do we do now? This doesn't seem like the situation where asking nicely is likely to work. reconsider what you're doing with your life. I mean, I'd be in that shoes, but we're here for a mission. How about we examine the door for secret mechanisms? Why not? You begin running your claws around the sides of the door, looking for any kind of mechanism that might bypass the code wheel. Nice try, detective, but I don't think it's gonna be that easy. Fuck, I'm running out of tropes to fall back on here. Never as easy to make it out in the pictures, is it? I want to just reconsider what I'm doing with my life. It's too late to just leave and forget this whole thing, isn't it? Yes. Yes. Damn. Alright, how about we just search the room for the combination? Okay, everyone. See if they wrote down the code on something in here. We might get lucky. Xander and Max stare at you in disbelief. You honestly think someone would just leave the combination to the most secure vault in the city just laying around next to the door? Miss Maxora is right, detective. Only Onikogo would have that combination, and isn't the type to carve it into the bottom of a vase somewhere. It was just a suggestion, okay? I've never done this before. Fine, we're monsters, let's act like it. Yes, smash your way in. Xander, think if we work together we can get into the vault another way? What do you mean, detective? It's a vault. The idea is to keep things locked away. There's only one way in. There's only one door, but these walls don't look quite as solid. Big scary door wants to stay close, so how about we make our own? How do you plan to do that? You look around the hallway, and your eyes land on a granite statue of a militaristic kaiju that is suitably spiky. This should do nicely. Xander, lend me a tentacle. Xander solders over, and the pair of you heave the statue up and angle it towards the empty patch of wall to the side of the wall door. I don't know if you have thought this through, detective, but I like your sense of style. I just want to crack this vault open. I'm dying to know what a real horde looks like. Ready? Swing! Using the statue as a battering ram, you pound the wall over and over again. It's a tense moment where you wonder what will give out first, the statue or the wall. Just as it feels like the statue is about to crumble, the wall cracks and the spikes pierce through. Not very subtle, Kari. I'm sure the whole city heard us. If they aren't on us already, we still got time to get the idol. Xander, can you with the tentacle? My pleasure. Xander once again slips a tentacle through the crack in the wall. You can hear it thud around the other side for a few moments before the vault door makes a clunk sound. Detective, Mix Maxora, if you do the honors. Ooh, pretty. The inside of a vault is magnificent. Rows upon rows of great statues and display stands reach back to the distant walls. You've never seen a horde before, but you've never expected it to be so well organized. Don't get awestruck. You must collect the idol and depart before any guards arrive. How are we gonna find it in here? This place is cavernous. Simple. A megalomaniac like Onikogo would want it to have pride of place. So it will be right in the middle of the horde where she can admire it. The three of you move deeper into the vault. You can't help but marvel at some of the things you're seeing. Fortunes upon fortunes of artifacts hidden away. You find your fingers gently tracing over objects as you slowly make your way down the aisle. Ancient carvings depicting historic battles between kaiju, slabs of opalescent rock formed into skulls, crates of giant teeth. Just seeing it all locked up, hidden away from the rest of your kind. It hurts. No one should ever hoard this much history. It's not right. Well, maybe tomorrow you can come back and liberate some more of it, detective, but I could even direct you to a few notable pieces. Tonight, we have a far more specific task to complete. As you approach the center of the vault, you can feel something in the air change. A new sensation that you can't quite place. A presence, a weight in the world. Whatever it is in the air suddenly feels hot in this chilly vault. On an obsidian plinth nests a statue of deepest crimson, a ruby that almost comes up to your waist. This crimson old one. In the stone. I never believed I would ever get to see it in my lifetime. It's bigger than I imagined, and even more beautiful. I want one. Can I get one? I'm such a dork. Perhaps in another life, Miss Maxora. For now, we must grab this jewel and make our escape. You go to pick up the idol, but Max stops you. Let me take it, Kari. I'm no good for much in that maze. Sure, good idea. Stay behind us just in case something happens. She scoops up the idol in her arms, obviously struggling under the weight. Her eyes glitter as her features reflect off every surface. It's so beautiful and heavy. What do you think this thing is worth? Possibly more than everything else in this vault combined. Now keep up, we need to get out of here. Arriving back at the vault door, a monolithic figure is waiting for you. Her outstretched wings brushing the frame of the massive doorway. Oh, great. Xander, you old trilobite. What a coincidence seeing you here. Onikogo, you're looking as destructive as ever. We were just leaving. Oh, I insist you stay, Xander. You're all going to stay. We have such a lot to talk about. Good job. I should have known I'd find you swimming around in my basement, Xander. You always were a snake. And here I was thinking that's what you liked about me, Onikogo. You never seemed hesitant to make use of my sweatering when it came to piling your hoards to the rafters. And detective, quite the resilient one, are you? After our last encounter, I expected never to see your face again. You should hire smarter goons. The ones you sent didn't look where they were going and ended up in the morgue. They are easily replaced. And now you've broken into my museum. The door was unlocked. Smash your way into my most secure vault. It was like this when we got here. You're not helping your case here, man. And attempting to abscond with the prized jewel of my collection. I picked this up at the gift shop. The gift shop hasn't closed for renovations for weeks. Oh, I want to get a souvenir. Who are you, little bat? I don't believe we've met before. I tagged along for the Babylonian pottery exhibit. That exhibit ended last month. I'm afraid you're too late. Shucks, and I was looking forward to seeing all those pots. And what role do you play in the charade, my dear? Not your dear. I'm the sucker who brought this idol into the city. Then you had my courier killed. Oh, them? Such a little thing. They hardly mattered at all. As cold-blooded as ever, Onikogo. Guilty as charged. Life is cheap. Only jewels have real value. I'm glad I left you before your filth corrupted me to the bone. Your kind should have gone extinct centuries ago. You stole the Crimson Old One, just like you stole everything else in this room. We've come to take it back. Is that so, Xander? Is this your noble redemption story? One good deed to balance out all the terrible things you did to steal those objects for me. Yeah, I would too, Dabbles. There's a lot of characters in here that I would. And you plan to just walk out of this vault, holding the most valuable artifact the city has ever known. You think I should just hold the door, hand you a gift bag, and wave you into the distance with a jewel that's been fought over for millennia? Actually, yes, if you wouldn't mind. What's in the gift bag? The Crimson Old One will stay in my vault, and I'm going to tear each of you apart piece by piece. What? And get your claws dirty? I didn't think you had it in you. You'd be surprised what I'm prepared to do to protect what's mine, you snake. It was never yours to begin with, Onikogo. These things do not belong in a museum, especially not yours. This is the moment your story ends, detective. You should have chosen better friends. Perhaps in your next life you won't be so foolish. At the crescendo of your story, only one option remains. Fight. I've been waiting for this moment for the last 300 years, you old demon. Xander coils up on her tentacles and springs forward at Onikogo, who attempts to swat them away with that massive arm. Writhing tentacles wrap themselves around her arm as Xander swings to tear at Onikogo with her teeth. Max looks up at Onikogo, at the idol, then back at you. I'm sorry, Kari. Don't you dare run, Max. You said we could trust you. You promised. I'm so sorry. Max dashes towards the vault door, dunking underneath Onikogo's outstretched wings before she can react, and into the gloom beyond. Fuck. You dash around Onikogo, avoiding her swinging claws and Xander's tentacles, which are doing a little more than distracting her. From your gut, you feel the fire building up. No longer smoldering, it burns and twists inside, alive and angry, begging to escape. Xander, watch out. Things are about to get a little hot in here. Breathing deep, you channel your fire into a lance that cuts deep into the crevice between Onikogo's wings. She screams, helpless to prevent it as Xander's tentacles coil tighter. She swings around to face you, shoulders on fire, and with an angry Xander attempting to tear her face off with her teeth. You little pest, firebug. How dare you bring your nasty flames into my home? Would be a shame if everything here were to burn, Onikogo. So many pretty things. I wonder how many are flammable. You fire off another blast that smashes a vase behind her. Stop that, you worthless creature. Show some respect. Or what? You're gonna give me a spanking? This dork, I swear. At least let me earn it properly. You leap past her swinging claws and drive your shoulder into a stone statue, shattering it to fragments and reigniting the pain in your back. 2 down, a few hundred to go. Ready to stop this, Onikogo? I can go on breaking things all night long. I'll stop when I have you two in pieces so small they won't be able to get all of you out of the lake. Or maybe I'll just have to eat you. It's been too long since my last meal. Your screams will make your flesh all the sweeter. I didn't know she was into that, but okay. Onikogo grabs Xander by the torso and tears him off her arm with a sickening rip. Ooh. A couple of tentacles remain feebly stuck to her arm as the rest of them crashes into the cell. Xander! Focusing on the burning inside, you straight and unleash your largest gout of flame ever coaxed from your body. It torrents towards Onikogo, a spear of blue fire that crackles the air around it as it travels across the room. It ricochets off Onikogo's wing as she shoots herself from the blast. The flame rebounds through the vault door and into the hallways beyond. Firebug, lend me your ear. She stands before you, impossibly tall, each menacingly clawed hand an ending that you always knew was coming. Firebug, and nothing left for you here. At an incredible speed for someone so big, she grabs you by the throat and lifts you high in the air. You've burnt down the village. All life now is gone. Another hand grips your injured shoulder, talons sinking into your scales. And where you are dead, no one left will mourn. The fall awaits you in her gaping maw as she prepares to bite. She stops, frozen, paralyzed. Kari! Yo, Max! Looking past Onikogo's bulk, you see Max, terrified, her horn glowing, freezing Onikogo on the spot. Max, you came back! I didn't know you could do that. I can't hold her for long. Get away from her. I can't. She's literally got her claws in me. Maybe I can assist. Xander's remaining tentacles grip Onikogo around her biceps from behind and wrench him back. You drop on the floor hard. You have had your teeth in me for far too long, Onikogo. I believe it's time for me to return the favor. With the grim purpose, Xander grabs Onikogo by the horns, pulls her head to the side, and sinks crocodile teeth deep into her neck, tearing flesh and muscle aside with bloody ease. Detective, if you could escort the young lady out of here with the idol, Onikogo and I have much catching up to do. Pulling yourself to your feet, grab Max by the arm and run from the smoking, blood-filled vault into a smoke and fire-filled hallway. Well, things escalated quickly, didn't they? The crates and more flammable artifacts are all ablaze, filling the room with accurate smoke and burning history. You set the place on fire? No, you did. I was trying to hide behind some crates, and a fireball burst through the vault, and everything was suddenly burning. Oh fuck, that wasn't supposed to happen. Max starts coughing and trying to cover her face with a wing. Can we get out of here, Kari? I don't like fire. Sure, Xander is busy finishing off Onikogo, so let's grab the idol and get the hell out of here. Where's the idol? That's something I wanted to tell you. What? The little fireball? It kinda hit where I hid the idol. It's in the middle of the fire. Oh, of course it is! Do rubies melt? Fuck, time to find out. Striding into the fire, it takes a few moments to find the statue. Finding a red rock in the middle of a furnace turns out to not be easy. Your foot clips to the side of something and you couldn't see, and now only notice from the way the flames reflect off the surface. I got it! Clutching the statue, you clamber back out of the fire, embers clinging to your scales, letting Max lead you back through the hallways. Do you think Xander will be okay? I think once they finish their little chat with Onikogo, they'll be fine. There was a lot of fire, Kari. I guess the gift shop is probably going to be closed for a while then. Sorry, Max. I know you wanted something to remember this by. That's alright, Kari. I think we got a pretty nice souvenir right here. You and Max stumble out the rear exit. The cool air from the city hits you like a hammer after the heat of the museum. Old ones. It feels nice to be out of that basement. I thought I was about to suffocate in the last hallway. I kinda liked it, but I was hatching a volcano. You're back. What happened? Why is the museum on fire? Kari, you did this, didn't you? Everyone's favorite arsonist. It was self-defense. The museum attacked me. I was just minding my own business. Oh, Ike's story. What happened to Xander? Xander is in there finishing a conversation with Onikogo. Those two had a lot to talk about, it seems. Onikogo was here? So much for a smooth operation. I'm just glad you're both safe. Not only safe, we got ourselves a souvenir. You hold up the statue for Alex to see. Behold, the Crimson Old One. Relic of ages past, symbol of long-dead aristocracy. Giant fucking ruby of unimaginable value. Did it always have a great big crack in it? What? It's got a big crack running down the side. Didn't you notice that when you grabbed it? We were in a rush, Onikogo had just gotten the jump on us. It wasn't there before, Kari. Do you think... Fuck, the fire, I didn't know. Do you think that's gonna knock something off the resale value? Xander slithered slowly through the open door, their scales smoking, an itcher dripping from the stumps of their torn-off tentacles. They collapse against the side of the boat and look up at the three of you. Good to see you two made it out alive. That was quite the adventure, I must say. Is Onikogo? Dead, my dear. As dead as the dinosaurs. I must say, I didn't do too bad for an old fossil. You did great. It's good to see you again. I'm sorry about your tentacles. These things? They'll grow back in time. This isn't the first time I've left part of myself behind at the end of an adventure. Plenty of adventures left in you, that's for sure. They laugh and spit out blood. Theirs and Onikogo's. You don't want to know. Maybe, so probably not. I don't heal up like I used to. Going to take a few decades to start growing these back. Might have to ask Alex where he gets his games. I'll give you their address, see if they can give you a discount. Aha! Don't think we'll ever be needing a discount ever again, dear Alex. Not with our shiny stone here to make up our fortunes. Oh yeah, the idol. There's something we should tell you about the idol. You won't be happy. What's wrong with the statue? It got broken in the fight, either the fire or something else. Right. You show Xander where the idol is starting to crack. I'm sorry, you spent so much of your life trying to track this thing down, and now it's broken. They sit up as if suddenly unaware of their injuries. No, this cannot be. This is the Crimson Old One, older than the city, nearly as old as our kind. It's been through wars, devastation, the extinction of the old ones. It cannot just break. I refuse to believe it. What if this was a fake? I'm calling it now. This is probably a fake, and the real one is somewhere else entirely. Do you think it might be a fake? Yep, called it. Something Onikogo brought in to lure you into a fight? Or maybe my kaiju didn't grab the real one after all. Or track down a copy? Be gentle with it. I think it's cracking more. Xander leans in and gently strokes the ruby's surface, tapping it with a claw and listening closely. No. This is a genuine article, alright? Pure ruby. Ancient as time. Then what's happening? Surely it shouldn't be breaking up like this. No one wants it. No one wants it. I'll still take it. It's shiny, and I don't mind if it's a little broken. There's something here we must be missing, Miss Mexora. Some small detail I can't put my claw on. There's probably something inside, isn't there? Stories of this jewel are ancient as the cavern itself. Mistranslation, miscommunication, misdirection. These are all potential problems with prophecy. Then what the hell is going on? Can we glue it back together? Will anyone notice? Or maybe it's easier to sell in pieces. I think I know what's happening? Three of you turn to Alex. What is it then? Yeah, Alex, don't keep it to yourself. I can't be sure. But I think that priceless treasure you have there is about to hatch? Oh, it's an egg. What a twist. Resting the idol gently on the lip of the stone, Jetty, the four of you huddle as best as you can around the cracking crystal. I know, right, Dapples? Hatching? What are you talking about, Alex? Rubies don't hatch. They do, if they aren't just rubies, Kari. I believe your assistant is correct. The old ones protected this stone up until the end. They knew it had worth. Worth more than a giant one-of-a-kind ruby? Think about it, Miss Mexora. What worth is there in shiny pebbles to a creature of such great size and power that it shapes the world around it? They had no money, no tanks, no barter, only survival. So the story about possessing the stone to reign until the end of days? A mistranslation, obviously. A stone of blood shall hold the key to our survival. They weren't talking about status symbol, they were talking about survival of the species. Well, ain't that something? The last egg of the Elder Kaiju, an old one unknown. Unborn until now, Detective. It looks like you're about to become a brood parent. Congratulations, Kari. We're gonna have the hatchling proof your office. What? I can't raise an old one. I wouldn't know what to feed it. The stories are true. They eat pretty much anything up to and including cities. Let me know if you need a babysitter. This thing is tens of thousands of years old. How had it ever hatched until now? I would assume that it's never been subject to the kind of intense heat of your impressively hot exhalation. What? Your breath, Kari. The egg got hot enough that it finally started to hatch. Which would lead me to believe that this old one hatchling is a creature of the flame. Suitable considering the egg, I must say. So what do I do? I don't know how to be a brood parent. Be there for them? That's the best advice I can give you. I mean, yeah, that's probably the best advice I can give too. I can do that. I hope. Oh, it's adorable. With a soft cracking sound, the idol slowly breaks apart before your eyes. A grasping limb reaches out from the lower half of what is now obviously shell, and the hatchling head pokes up over the edge to look you in the eyes. It's so cute. For a hatchling this large, with limbs already oversized for the body, ready to be grown into. In that moment, you know, deep in your gut, that you would never let anything happen to this kid. They kind of look like you, Kari. Reaching a paw towards the hatchling gently, it reaches back and grabs you firmly by the finger. Oh, it's so cute! Check out these paws. This kid has a strong grip. Alex squats down next to the newborn, who looks up at the pair of you sweetly. They're so big already for a hatchling. We're definitely going to need some advice on how to raise an old one. I don't think they write guidebooks for this kind of thing. The hatchling's eyes cross over for a moment, then it hiccups loudly, and a wisp of smoke rises from their nostrils. A fire breather indeed, but they have chosen you as their brood parents. I wish you both luck. This may be your most harrowing adventure yet. I'm sorry about the idol, Xander. You spent so much of your life chasing it, giving up so much, and now it's gone. Yeah, fireproof the office, it's that simple. Xander laughs painfully, their strength slowly returning. Oh, detective, this is far greater a prize than some lump of rock. I may have been present at the birth of an old one. Something no one may ever see again. May ever again be able to say, aside from those of us here. They pick up a large fragment of egg, the ruby shell seemingly solidified again after the hatching. I have my prize, and a story to go with it. Take a piece of the shell, each of you. That is your payment for this endeavor. Max's eyes glitter at the scattered rubies. Are you sure? We already took your money when we began the search. A promise is a promise, my dear. I may not be able to sell off the idol as intended, but we shall all be rewarded. I let that, my dear, pass this one time. Take your piece. Keep it. Sell it. I don't mind. Use it to make a future for yourselves. She looks closely at the pile and grabs a piece with one of the statue's horns. Thank you, Xander. I'll treasure it. And for yourself, detective? You look up. The hatchling has been sleepily chewing on your finger, and it's hard to look away. It's so cute. What? Please take a piece of the egg. As payment, we wouldn't have made it this far without your sterling efforts. Of the shell? Aha! Of course. Of all of us here, you deserve payment the most. What you choose to do with that much ruby is up to you. You look at the large shards that once made up the crimson old one. Well, it seems so immaterial now. Nodding, you reach down and pick up the base of the egg, still holding the oozing hatchling. A most fitting choice, detective. A true prize indeed. Still, I shall not begrudge you the biggest piece. Keeping that child fed will not be cheap if the stories are anything to go by. The shell sits snugly in your arms. It feels even heavier now that you know what it contains. May I have a piece, as memento? Xander laughs again and gestures at the diminished heap. By all means, even a getaway driver deserves your payment. Alex scans the pieces carefully and picks up the broken tail. I like this bit. It shall be the source of many future puns. Oh gods, not the puns. This kid is gonna be raised with a healthy attitude towards punning, Kari, and you can't stop me! Fragments of the egg still litter the jetty. What about the rest of the egg? Going to sell it off and recoup your expenses? Not quite. I have a rather more fitting end for these pieces. They belong to the last member of our crew, who sadly could not be here tonight. Lore? With a strained force, Xander scoops the pile of ruby chunks up in the claw and throws them far into the lake. The soft rain of stones fill the quiet air with plink plink sounds. To Lore, a friend who never got to see the end of this adventure, I shall miss him. He was a bastard, loud, arrogant, drunk most of the time, but I'll miss him all the same. The four of you stand together in a quiet I can't talk today, and stare across the lake. So what do we do now? First, we need to get the hell off this island. I don't know if anyone has noticed, but the museum is still on fire, and I'm guessing the cops won't be far away. I'd rather be gone than explain to Carla Zora why I set fire to the most expensive landmark in the city. You also need to get this hatchling somewhere safe. As for myself, I shall be returning to my opulent den to sleep of the victorious. As for the young lady points out, I am rich in years and need my beauty rest. What about me? Once we're home safe, you and I will have one last piece of business to attend to next. Oh? Aren't we done? You tickled the scaled belly in your arm with a claw. A tiny smoke ring escapes the hatchling's mouth. I feel like Max is Rax's sister. I'm calling it now. Because we haven't really gotten to that mystery yet. Not for you, Max. There's someone I want you to meet. Yep, I knew it. Why have you brought me here, Kari? Isn't this where Lore was planning to meet me? It is. I thought it would be appropriate if we came and had a drink together, in his memory. I can't say I got to know Lore very well. He was rude and obnoxious, but he brought us together, and deserved to see it through to the end. That's fair. He deserved better than what he got. I'll drink to his memory for once. How's the night been? Sandra? All quiet. He shrugs, tail swinging lazily. This is Miss Mixora, a friend. Would you be able to keep her company for a few minutes while I talk to your boss? Why all the mystery, Kari? You'll find out soon enough. I promise. Okay, but this better be worth it. Stainra, is it? I like your antlers. They're really shiny. Aww. Stainra actually blushes. You laugh and stomp into the near empty bar. Rax is tending the bar for a few quiet drinkers, cleaning glasses and moving fluids around the stone countertop with a rag. Flatpaw, it's good to see you again. I must admit I was more than a little worried when you left my joint a bloody mess. Stainford was not happy cleaning all the blood out of the alley. Had to pay him overtime and he just wouldn't shut up about it. You know how he goes on. It's good to see you too, Rex. I miss the smell of this place. Like a chemical refinery that caught fire and sunk into a swamp. I like to think that it was that has a kind of homey charm to it. You come in for a drink, or are you looking to bother my regulars again? I toss the necklace over to Rex, who fields it with a pincher. Actually, I've come to settle my tab. He looks down at the pendant, sullenly. Oh, you couldn't find her. Figures. I've lost my chance then, haven't I? Bugger. Not quite. In fact, I've got someone I'd like you to meet. You poke your head out of the door and beckon Max in. Rex, I'd like to introduce you to someone. Max enters the room, at first taking the dinginess of the bar, where her eyes land on Rex. Rex, meet Mixora. The cup that never seems to be able to leave his side falls to the floor and smashes behind the bar. I believe you two have a lot to talk about. For the first time since you met him, Rex actually seems speechless. Rex? Is that you? Yeah, kiddo. It's me. It's been? It's been a long time. It's good to see you again. Yeah. I'm sorry, I should have been there for you. I never got the chance to say goodbye before, you know. But I want to tell you I always loved you. I always will. Thanks, brother. It's Max now, by the way. Rex nods and slides a can across the bar towards her. I missed you, Max. All through the war and after, I never stopped looking. There just wasn't anything to go on. It's a big city. You couldn't have known. Now was a different time and we were different kaiju. What have you been up to all this time? She sighs and sits down at the bar. Where do I start? I'll leave you two to it then. Rex, I think this settles us. Max, welcome home. Thanks, Kari. How did you know? Thank Alex. He saw the same symbol on one of your rings as on Rex's pendant. It's not something you see every day. That boy has sharp eyes. Oh, please thank him for me too. Thanks, Flatfall. Come back anytime. I might take you up on that. I'd say stay safe, but I don't think there's anything you two couldn't overcome working together. You make sure to look after the kid, and try to keep her out of trouble. Wait, what kid? We've got a lot to catch up on, big brother. The epilogue. So there shouldn't be any problems with the adoption process. I have a friend in the city hall owes me a favor. Half the city owes you favors, Alex, including me. One day you're gonna cash them in and end up owning most of the city. Looking around the room, it's hard not to think about all the ways things have suddenly changed over the short few nights. I never thought I'd end up a brood parent. Can't say it doesn't feel weird. Does it feel right? Yeah, in a way it does. This kid needs a home. We can be that. Can't be worse than our brood parents. We can give the kids something better. We can't keep calling them the kid. They need a name. Well, I never named a hatchling before. Heck, I wasn't even allowed a puppy. Look down at the hatchling, sleeping soundly on the couch. They're wrapped up in the remnants of your old coat, curled up inside a broken ruby shell. How about Crimson? Not a very original name, I know, but I think it suits them. Crimson lets out a little burp of flame as they dream away in their little nest. I like it. That's a good name to grow into. A good name for a little monster. I never had the chance to care for another life form before. What happens if I fuck up, Alex? Then you'll learn from it. Fucking up is a part of the process. Sanders said that they would send us anything they could take up on old one's life cycles. Seems to think this little hatchling is gonna get big. How is the fossil? Can't imagine they're getting around easy after the fight. They seem to be getting on fine with a couple of canes. Apparently it'll be about a decade before the tentacles grow back. There's also a message from Carla. Something about wanting some quiet time together to discuss a mysterious fire. Shit, she's gonna ask so many awkward questions. Just tell her the truth, Kari. She'll figure out things on her own soon enough anyways. Oh, and Rex sent over a crate of Monster Mash. Said something about not liking depths to go unpaid. That boy has a real soft heart under all that hard shell. How do you think he and Max Fur are getting along? One day at a time, like the rest of us. As little trust as I had in her, she did the right thing at the end. She deserves a fresh start. Those two have a couple of lifetimes to catch up on. That's going to take time. From their little nest, Crimson makes little mewing noises in their sleep. In their face you can see a future, an uncertain one, but a future all the same. Now we have fun word conversation. You'll let an old one get adopted out to a random kaiju. I know, right? I wonder how the humans will react when they see a brand new old one climbing out of the earth. They are in for a hell of a surprise. Though that might not be for hundreds of years. No one knows how long old ones take to mature. Maybe they will have learned better by then. Maybe we can teach Crimson better. You and me, Kari. We'll be there for them. From the door comes an urgent knocking in a strained voice. Excuse me, are you open? I need help and I don't know where else to go. What do you think? Are we open for a fresh case? I don't know. What does it say on the door? It says Detective Karibara, private investigator. I finally got the graffiti off. You solved 2 cases this week. Adopted a hatchling that may one day crush cities and ruin your favorite coat. To say it's been a long week would be an understatement. What the hell? I'm feeling helpful tonight. Show them in and put the kettle on, Alex. I have a feeling it's gonna be another long night. Aw, that's so cute. Better get a baby harness right. This was pretty neat. I really enjoyed it. Thanks for playing Kaiju Noir. We hope you've enjoyed this monstrous visual novel. I sure did. Before you go, we've got a few messages to leave you with. Consider them a not-so-subtle rehashing of what this story has been all about. Trans rights are worth fighting for. It's never too late to be who you really are. Fuck ters. If you got trans family or friends, be there for them. It can be a real scary world for them. Oh, you have no idea. Thanks, bro. I missed you. Family are the people who care about you, not necessarily the ones that raised you. All cops are bastards. Abolish police states. End prisons. Build something better to community support. Wait, aren't you still a cop? For now I am, so I know what I'm talking about. Eat the rich. They are a great source of protein and the wealth for redistribution. Stomp some fascists if you get the chance. It's fun and it makes the world a better place. A lot of us can carry a kaiju crapload of trauma through our lives. Give yourself permission to deal with it at your own pace. We all have our own ways to cope with the rough times. The best thing we can do is be there for each other. Seek professional assistance to help deal with problems in your life if you can. Memories are worth more than shiny stones. Chase the things most important in your life. When did this become a group therapy session? Shut up, Kari. Therapy helps a lot of folks. No judgment here. Where were we up to? Thanking the folks who made this all happen. Thank you, Louis Abadius, who gave us our monstrous forms. Thank you to Kitar Bard for the rocking soundtrack. Thanks to the other wonderful artists that contributed to the game, and to our awesome testers. Damn right. Of course, thank you all for playing, supporting the game, and all your encouragement. This was a big project and you made it happen. If you feel up to it, maybe give the game another play. Who knows what you might learn about our world. Enough perhaps for a sequel? That depends on how well this one sells. Gotta keep the artists fed. Till next time, stay safe. Look after yourselves. And each other. You are not alone. And that was Kaiju Noir, or at least one run of it. I might do more, because, you know, it's a visual novel. There's a lot more you could do with it. There's a lot of different paths you could take. And I think that is where I will leave off for the stream. It's been like 4 hours, good lord. But now I gotta figure out who to raid to. There's a lot of people I could easily raid to, and I'm not sure exactly who to go to. So let's see here. Unless y'all got a suggestion. Oh, that's everyone? No problem. No problem at all. How about Momo? She's streaming Monster Underworld. Yeah, why not? We'll go with her. Yeah. But alas, that is all from me. Farewell.